Let we go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, and welcome in to OTB on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Happy Monday morning. Jake, Alondra, and Cassie here with you for the next 3 hours. No T-Bob, no Taylor. T-Bob is still, we think, in Cabo, and Taylor is at the most Taylor destination ever. He is at Yellowstone for the next couple of days. But we've got a great show planned, a lot of great guests coming on. We got weekend winners, all of that. We haven't heard from T-Bob. We heard that he got to Cabo, so that was good. But we haven't heard from him since he's been in Mexico. He's supposed to be back tomorrow. I think that should actually be maybe like a poll question of the day. I know we used to do a bunch of those. Will T-Bob be back tomorrow? Because I think he's supposed to, if I'm not mistaken, land sometime tonight. So, Alondra, I don't know what your confidence level is in T-Bob getting back. But the amount of times that we heard from him initially, I'm like,
no, I was surprised.
I know. Is this going to be different?
I know. Well, because we even heard from him like on Saturday, I think.
As soon as he landed, he was like Chatty Cathy.
I know.
Well, for T-Bob standards.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, we're good. Still haven't heard from him since then, though.
It's okay.
Yeah.
In no way do I expect him to be back tomorrow, although he's supposed to be back tomorrow. I'm expecting him to have a 5:30 p.m. flight from somewhere that they missed.
With plenty of time to get there.
Plenty of time to get there or get back. So we'll see. We'll see if T-Bob, and maybe we'll do some investigating and see if he actually did get a chance to hang out with Gronk. I saw a lot of Gronk from a lot of different LSU people that I knew.
Oh, so he was there.
He was. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was there.
Okay.
Multiple people that I follow. Again, it was Stephen Ridley.
Yeah.
LSU legends running back there. It was his wedding in Cabo, so he was there. The opportunity was there, and
I just know there has to be something.
I think he did. I think T-Bob did well. I think you gave him a little encouragement.
I did.
Right before on Saturday when he landed. I think our boy did well.
Hopefully.
I think that him wanting to hang out with Gronk as bad as he wanted to went well.
A Gronk Bob collab coming soon.
I hope so. That is our hope. All right. As I mentioned, we do have a ton to get into. Let's start real quick. Alondra, over the weekend, LSU baseball, because it feels like every single time that we come on here, they've either added a player or lost a player, but more adding players than it seems like anything, and they've added one from within the state.
Yes, they added Jacob Myers from Nicholls State. He's a right-handed pitcher. He had a 4.58 ERA and 70 2/3 innings this season, 16 starts for him. Walked 76 batters and struck out 13 batters per 9 innings and held opponents to a 165 batting average. But like his freshman year, he had a 2.2 ERA and 75 2/3 innings, and he only walked 58 batters and struck out 12 per 9 innings. So I don't know like enough about him, but that feels like a little bit of a regression. But I don't know.
Maybe more high leverage responsibilities.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
In the next season.
Yeah.
But this is somebody that Jay Johnson's taking out of the transfer portal with some of the other names that he has taken, obviously. And look, in-state, they play against Nicholls every single year.
Yeah.
Just adding another arm. And how this roster is going to shape up is going to be interesting because Jay came on this show and kind of said that the model's changed and it's going to be year by year, and you're putting team by team and not necessarily looking in the future like you once did. Now, you're still going to take, top 50 MLB prospects that want to come to school like you have already in this cycle, but you're going to continue to stack arms, and you're going to have some probably tough decisions to be made. And that's why you see a lot of guys that, even though they were highly touted coming to LSU, they've decided to put themselves into the transfer portal because, Alondra, you know this very well covering the games. There's not like a ton of just roster spots out there. You can't just stack. It's not – the roster size is not going to be like it is in football where you can kind of hide some people. And with the portal, you're bringing in all these different players. And Jay said it, it's going to be year by year. There's probably going to be some names that LSU fans were once excited to see. We've already kind of seen it that are no longer going to be with the team.
Yeah, we saw that for us personally, we really liked Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
And we were excited to see him, and he hit the portal. Same with Aiden Moffitt. But, yeah, I mean, it's just the way that things are now. It's so easy to just hit the portal and find somewhere that you want to go play, and we'll probably give you more playing time than you'd get here at LSU.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think over the weekend I saw Cam Johnson, Oklahoma.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think I saw Cam Johnson maybe to Oklahoma. So if that is, in fact, the case, staying in the SEC. So Aiden Moffitt's still the one.
I know.
Even with Cam Johnson being as highly touted as he was, Aiden Moffitt, even in the postseason, he came in, electric arm, and feels like you had a really good plan for him in the next season. That feels like the one that maybe is going to hurt the most.
Yeah, because like you said, it felt like you had a really good plan. He had great velocity on his arm too. So, and I don't know, I thought for sure he'd be staying. But yes, Cam Johnson did go to Oklahoma. I just looked up Aiden Moffitt. He hasn't gone anywhere yet. So we'll keep an eye on that.
So, maybe, just maybe.
Maybe
just talk him into coming back there. So,
Come on,
again,
Aiden.
Yeah, the LSU baseball roster continues to add. It's lost some players. We've laid that out, but it continues to bring in really high-quality arms for Jay Johnson heading in to next season. All right, not all recruiting news, transfer portal news is going to be good today. And just to kind of lay out the show before we get into it, Bill Bender of the Sporting News in about 25 minutes from now. We've got Shay Dixon of On 3 to come break down, well, the news we're about to give you. We've got Connor O'Gara Saturday down south. We've got Hold the Mayo as well. So a big show planned for you. And the reason Shay is coming on because, well, Shay is a friend of the show, but also Jabari Antoine has pulled his verbal commitment from LSU. This is the number 47 player in the ESPN 300 and the second-ranked prospect in the state of Louisiana for this 2025 cycle. Now, Antoine is a two-way star at a Westgate High School, obviously in New Iberia, right down the road. He is the number 6 corner in the 2025 class. So you lose a big commitment there. And I know he's been on visits to Florida State. He's been to Miami as well. And maybe, just maybe, this is one of the cases of someone from the state of Louisiana wants to maybe get away a little bit. Maybe they want to go to the state of Florida, but this is a big loss if LSU is not able to get him back into the fold. He is somebody that was the third highest rated prospect in this LSU recruiting class. And so Corey Raymond, your defensive back coach, you know how we feel about Corey Raymond here on this show, godfather of DBU. This was kind of his first big get whenever he came back to LSU. I mean, Corey Raymond's from New Iberia. You go to New Iberia to get your first. It's, look, in the DB room, obviously. You go get your guy. And now you have Antoine decommit from LSU. And so we'll catch up with Shay Dixon a little bit later on in the 8 o'clock hour to see exactly what's going on there and what LSU plans to do. Still a very good class for the 25 class. You still have Bryce Underwood at quarterback. You still have Harlan Berry there at the running back position. You get another big-time recruit here in the an offensive guard, one of the best in the country, to commit to you over the weekend. Again, getting into all that with Shay here coming up in a bit. So it's a still very solid, very strong class, but you never like to lose the Louisiana guys. Now, it still gives you a chance. We were kind of joking with Aiden Moffitt in baseball, right? Maybe you haven't committed anywhere. You can get him to come back into the fold. You're always going to have a chance, you would think, with someone who's from Louisiana, was committed to you, even though he does decommit, and he has been to Miami. He's been to Florida State, but that is a couple in the last couple of weeks, right? You lose more. The number 3 player in the ESPN 300, receiver from the state of Texas. You don't want to lose too many of these guys. Now, when you have a recruiting class that is as solid as this 25 class is for LSU, it's a top 3 class. Anytime you lose somebody, when you have a top 3 class, there's a reason you're a top 3 class. It is going to hurt a little bit. And so we'll see where some of those guys that have decommitted from LSU are. We'll see some of the commitments that they got, including, again, one of the best interior offensive linemen in the country, coming up with Shea Dixon. That is going to be at the 8 o'clock hour. A lot still to get to. We'll see if we can track down how T-Bob did this weekend as well. All that coming your way when we come back. It is OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to ColemanRoof.com. ColemanRoof.com is the website, and once you go to the site, in the top right corner, it's going to give you the contact information for Coleman Roof in your area, because they are throughout the state of Louisiana. So no matter where you're listening to us in the state, commercial, residential, they can come and they can help you out. And it is truly a one-stop shop, because it is Coleman Roofing and Construction. Now, commercially, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've got going on with your roof. They can come in, they can fix it, they can help you out. And again, that's anywhere in the state. So if you own a big business up in Shreveport and you need a completely new roof, they have got you covered. If you have major damage up in Monroe, it's okay. They have got you covered. They will go throughout the state. Residential-wise here in the Baton Rouge area, obviously, you got a leak, it causes damage inside of your home. They are the one-stop shop. That is the construction service that can come in and fix every single portion of it. Go see them today, ColemanRoof.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Join us for the Monday edition, live at lunch, live at Big Mike Sports Grill in Denham Spring. Handy's back from the beach, live at lunch, Monday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here on a Monday morning. Alondra, truly in the foxhole on Friday. No T-Bob, no Taylor. I wasn't here.
I was the only one.
The only OG member of Off the Bench. How'd it go? But you, look.
No, it went well.
You at least had an hour of Clyde Edwards-Helaire here in studio. Clyde's the best.
He is. He truly is.
Hopefully that made up for a little bit of our departures.
Yes. I'll forgive y'all.
I'll let
it go.
How'd my guy Troy do? But you know Troy.
Yeah, I've known Troy.
At least we didn't leave you with a rando.
Yeah, I know. That would have been
really
terrible.
Awkward.
Oh man, I would have hated that.
Yeah.
But no, he did great. Clyde was great. Which of course he was.
Yeah.
We had Fletcher Mackerel on too. Can't remember who else. It's been a few days since then.
It's been a couple days. So shout out to Troy LaBeouf for filling in for us.
Coach Eric held
on Friday. Shout out to Coach Eric as well. We appreciate
with him.
Yeah, we appreciate them. Had a big weekend. A lot of family in. Harlow turned 1 year old on Saturday. Yeah, so we had a great family event. Family from North Louisiana, Colorado, Florida, California. As one does for a 1 year old birthday party.
Got to. Well, I mean, first girl out of four boys, you gotta. Yeah.
It was always going to be big, and you just don't say no. There's no budget.
No.
I've learned that.
No.
Whenever you have your first little girl's birthday party.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun over the weekend. One thing that was not going to be fun. It was never going to be fun. Was watching the College World Series between Texas A&M and Tennessee, and we're the defending champ, LSU, and that's about to go away, unfortunately. So, one more day. In fact, June 24th, if I'm not mistaken, if I've got my calendar right, because Harlow was born on the 22nd. It was right when Tommy White hits the game-winning home run, the walk-off win, and I'm telling you, Harlow comes, moments later. It was just utopia, right? I mean, Katie's, literally watching him hit the walk-off home run and then gives birth. And we're, celebrating. Because, you get to number 5, Katie's the GOAT, and, it was just a lot of fun. And so I believe today was game 1 of the LSU-Florida series, right? You didn't crown a champion today, but it was game number 1 when our guy, Cade Beloso, hits the home run and puts LSU up, and just a big, big moment in LSU baseball history. And so definitely want to celebrate what that night was. And, of course, you lose game 2, you get to a game 3, you win a national championship. But we're about to have a new national champion. And it did go 3 games like we kind of laid out the other day. This series felt like it was going to go 3 games. On Saturday, it was Texas A&M getting the best of Tennessee 9-5. And then they run it back yesterday. Tennessee gets Texas A&M 4-1. And now it sets up a national championship game because there's no longer a series. The next win is able to hoist that national championship trophy. Right now, Tennessee a heavy favorite, minus 275 to win this national championship game. Are we feeling Tennessee after losing game 1, Alondra, coming back and winning the national championship? Because, again, heavy favorites, minus 275.
Yeah, so I said on Friday that I thought that Tennessee was going to win the championship. I thought it'd go 3 games, but they're just really hot right now.
They don't go away.
Yeah, they don't go away. And
even in the Saturday game.
Yeah, they came back. They were down, 7-2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they even got down 9-2 at one point.
Yeah,
and they're going to come back, aren't they? Now, they didn't, but it feels inevitable all the time.
Yeah. They were on their way to a comeback, but I just think that it's going to be Tennessee being the national champ tonight. And it's going to hurt either way it goes.
It is, and we've laid it out. We've had some fun. We've joked about it. But I still think A&M, if they won it, it wouldn't do as much damage. Look, we're looking at – this is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're looking at everything through purple and gold glasses here. How does it affect LSU? If A&M wins it, I'm happy for my boy Nolan Kane.
Yeah.
It's A&M. yeah, sure, they'll get some juice from it, but A&M still got enough weird where it's like, are they really going to just dominate college baseball? You don't really feel like it, but with Tennessee, like we've laid out, you feel like that's the one thing that they're missing.
Yeah.
They've got Tony V, and love him or hate him, he creates an emotion from you. They're building, additions to their ballpark. They've already kind of, got the roster. They've crushed recruiting. They're convincing guys to not go into the MLB draft, and that's why, like, again, from an LSU perspective, or really any major college baseball team, it always felt like if A&M won, it wasn't going to be as bad as far as the momentum that they could create, like Tennessee.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, Tony V feels like he's one of the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they love him, and they're going to really rally around him, and it's going to be, like, a really good team environment. But, yeah, I don't know. I see Tennessee pulling this one, which is, like I said, either way, very disappointing. I feel like we play too much sometimes on this show, and we speak it into existence.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Because we were hypothetical this, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we laid it out.
Yeah.
And as soon as the bracket was released, it was the SEC ACC challenge, and the ACC was so good. And look, LSU, they fall to the hands of North Carolina, an ACC team. And you felt like, well, the ACC is going to hold their own in Omaha, right? I mean, they're going to keep up their part of the bargain, and they're going to make sure that we don't have doomsday scenarios. Well, they didn't. They didn't win a single game against the SEC.
Not one.
In Omaha. And look, I'm not ever going to be the chant SEC guy because, I only care how it affects LSU. But, look, SEC is the best in baseball. We know that, and now it's just solidified in Omaha. But, I mean, I was thinking the ACC would hold up their end of the bargain, and we wouldn't have to worry about this. Does anybody really care if, Florida State went out there and won a natty, or even North Carolina, the team that beat you, or NC State?
I really don't think so.
Nobody would have cared. Yeah. But now, if you laid out, hey, I don't want one of these three teams to win, it would have been the two that are playing tonight. It would have been Florida.
Yeah.
Right? And Florida even though it's Florida, y'all know what that means to me. Look, they won one in 2017. They've won one before. Yeah, they'd get something from it, but yeah, worst case scenario. And I think the even worse, the most just one we absolutely didn't want to happen, minus 275 feels like it's going to happen tonight.
Yeah. And you're talking about SEC. Last year it was SEC versus SEC 2. And then the year before that, it was Ole Miss versus who do they play in that? I forgot. But it's been an SEC team almost every single year for the College World Series. So I don't think there's a question. It is SEC, ACC, the top right now, but I don't think there's a question which conference is number one in baseball.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. And the ACC, again, tip your cap, great season, had a bunch of really good teams, and they get 4 teams in Omaha there. But this is just solidifying what we already knew.
Yeah.
And Texas and Oklahoma better be ready as well. Texas is a very proud baseball program. We know that, but they haven't been as good as they once were, and they're certainly on a decline more than going the right way. In football, Texas is going the right direction as they head into the SEC. In baseball, I'd say they're going the opposite.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma is very solid in baseball as well. That's what makes me a little bit nervous with Texas because they know. And we were joking, they're trying to hire their next head coach when their coach is still with them. It's like they've moved on from their head coach, but it feels
he's on thin ice.
He's on very thin ice.
Yeah.
And it feels like if they were able to get one of the top coaches to accept, whatever massive offer they were able to throw at him, that it would be a top 5 coach in baseball.
Yeah.
I just don't want, it does not need to be somebody that we like.
No, can't be Jay. Don't touch him.
No.
You can take, actually, I don't
take
know.
Tony V.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know if you could take Tony V, to be honest. Do you want Tony V at Texas?
That's true. Who can? Coach Maneri's already gone.
Yeah.
He's already in South Carolina. I feel
they should have waited.
I know. I feel bad. So I was not on off campus on Friday either. I took off both shows because again we had there's a ton of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Coach Maneri agreed to come on off campus.
on Friday?
Because he thought I was.
So he went on and
He
you
went
weren't
on
there?
and I wasn't there. And my producer said, like, I think he was joking, but he wasn't very happy with you. Like, my bad, coach.
You gotta send him a little text.
That's okay. Hey, we'll have him. Like, I think it'd be cool to have him on this show.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think LSU fans would, like to hear maybe how it all played out. And we're always going to love Coach Maneri here. And, he's a foe. He's a foe now, but, just during the game. Because Coach Maneri always has a place here on OTB. All right, so, tonight, national championship game, Texas A&M versus Tennessee. Winner take all. And Tennessee looks like they're going to have the advantage on the mound. But as we know, sometimes that just does not matter. A&M's going to need one of those performances that you're not counting on that we see all the time in postseason baseball, certainly there in Omaha. I believe that is going to be a 6 p.m. first pitch over on ESPN. All right, we are going to dive into college football, and Bill Bender of the Sporting News is going to join us when we come back to do so. We'll be back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to getgordon.com. Getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And when you go to the website, a couple things you can do. You can get a free consultation set up right there on the website. You can have a chat with them on the website. It's going to pull right up, bottom right corner. Any question that you might have. Also, you can check out past client results on the website, cases that they can handle for you in the courtroom. Like, all that information is going to be right at your fingertips. All the contact information. You can meet the G team right there on the website. So it's a great tool. Again, getgordon.com. You know it's going to be Get Gordon as the handle on all major social media as well. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it might be. You can see, what they're doing in the community because they're always doing something, always helping out the area here in Louisiana. You can see that, they support all of the local athletes here as well. That's Get Gordon. And the area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more. Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. LSU landed anybody else in the baseball transfer portal, and as a national champion, been crowned. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB here on a Monday morning, and we are about to catch up with one of my absolute favorites, Bill Bender of The Sporting News, who is going to join us now. Bill, always a pleasure to have you on. There's no T-Bob this morning. He is actually in Cabo at a wedding, and you'll probably remember this name, Stephen Ridley, LSU, Patriots, long NFL career. He's at his wedding, and our boy T-Bob, his one main goal was to party with Gronk, and so I think my co-host is in Cabo partying with Gronk, so I don't know if he'll be back tomorrow either, Bill.
Well, last time I was on this show, I believe he was at a Grateful Dead tribute concert in Las Vegas.
He was.
T-Bob is well-traveled and well-partied, and it makes me feel bad because I am maybe not that well-traveled and well-partied, I suppose.
No, nor am I. Like, my vacations are typically, and vacations air quotes here, like I've got one coming at the end of this month. It's to go to Fairhope, Alabama to work the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame for NFL radio. So, like, that does not sound like it's fun. It's a great Senior Bowl is awesome. I love it. But he's going to Grateful Dead and he's going to Cabo. So those aren't the same, Bill.
Right. And ours is in a couple of weeks we're going up to Lake Michigan, but it's a dual couple days of vacation. Son has a lacrosse tournament up there.
Exactly.
So
I knew lacrosse was coming in here somewhere.
Yeah, like we have your calendar is dictated by the sports your kids played on some level. So when the kids are out of school, maybe I'll get that trip to Cabo with T-Bob and Gronk, and I can party with them.
Absolutely. Talking some college football with our guy, Bill Bender of The Sporting News here on OTB. All right, I want to talk week number 1 to start off because I think there are so many games, and maybe not even like the marquee games because it's 1 versus 2. We have some of that. We have ranked on ranked, but it just feels like there's some games with some ultimate pressure in week number 1. I think I look at Clemson going up against Georgia. I look at both teams in USC and LSU. I certainly look at both teams in Miami versus Florida to kick off the season. So, Bill, for you, which one do you think, not even necessarily like the best game, but which one do you think has the most pressure for one of the teams to win?
Florida, Miami.
Yeah.
Because, and it's a hard question because there's a lot. I think you could almost make a separate list of which program faces the most pressure regardless of games. It's different levels. To me, it's that Florida-Miami game, though. They don't play a lot. We've talked a lot about Billy Napier. We know how high-level difficulty that Florida schedule is. And then Miami, obviously, with Mario Cristobal, didn't end the way they wanted. They're getting a little bit of preseason shine, too.
Yeah.
So I think the loser of that game will feel a lot of pressure, even if I don't think both teams will be ranked. I think Miami might be ranked, but the other ones, you said it, USC, LSU, A&M, Notre Dame. I think that's another underrated gem on the week 1 schedule.
That's a great point. And when you look at that game, what it could do for Texas A&M. I mean, Notre Dame, no matter where you look, they're in the top 10. I believe actually Sporting News, Bill, if I'm not mistaken, y'all had them coming in at number 5 on your top 25. And so they've got high expectations I mean, Marcus Freeman, I think, has done a great job of getting this team ready to go. You get Riley Leonard to come over from Duke, and you know how big of a fan I am of Riley Leonard and the way that he plays. But if there's someone who knows Riley Leonard, it's going to be Mike Elko. What's Mike Elko putting together? The game plan to stop Riley Leonard. I mean, he's going to be, obviously, he's a Texas A&M head coach. He was the Duke head coach with Riley Leonard. Bill, if anybody knows Riley Leonard, it's going to be Mike Elko. And so that could be a very difficult game for him to go out there and be the player that we've seen him be at Duke.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of storylines to that story. And Riley Leonard had a second procedure on his ankle done in spring practice. So, you know, the question is, okay, how healthy is he? Notre Dame's got a really talented roster. You are right. We have them in the top 5. And part of that is that defense. You know, the defense has a lot of veteran players on it. Xavier Watts, Howard Croft, those are all-American caliber players. They picked up some transfers. They're going to go on the road and do it. The spectacle of that stadium. Anytime Notre Dame goes to an SEC school, and I just looked this up, it's not frequent that they go play in an SEC venue. And so they'll be riled up to see them. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What are your expectations of Texas A&M? I mean, not only in this game, because T-Bob and I were talking about it last week. The schedule's not too bad. I mean, look, SEC, you're going to have a stretch of schedule that's going to be difficult. We all know that. But, you know, there's some parts in it where they can stack up some wins. Mike Elko knows the program. He was there with Jimbo as the defensive coordinator. A&M, we know how they've recruited. Now they've lost some players in the portal. But what are your expectations for the Aggies?
Well, their tough ones are at home. That's the good news. They don't have a lot of really hard games on the road or against ranked teams that'll probably be ranked. So they definitely got the break with their schedule. I think Connor Wigman, I've liked his talent. It's a limited sample. I know he's had injuries, but when he's on the field, he's pretty good. And that'll be helpful. So, and some of it's culture. When these players, as they had transfer out, it can be good for the program sometimes. That means the guys in the locker room, the guys that are buying in, they've had some loaded recruiting classes. But I like Mike Elko's approach, too. If he's able to take what he was able to do at Duke and that underdog philosophy, undercard, and bring it to them, they'll certainly, and you know what, at the end of the day, can't wait to see him play Texas.
Okay, I'm glad you went there because I didn't plan on it, but it brings up a question of when I talk with Texas people, it's like they try not to mention the A&M game. It's like they'll talk about the Georgia game with everything going on in Austin that weekend. They'll talk about Oklahoma and continuing that game in Dallas, but they don't want to talk about it. Then I catch up with somebody like Billy Lucci over at Texags, and it's like Texas. And it's not just Billy. I mean, it's everybody with A&M. Does it feel like to you that Texas is trying to like just hand wave Texas A&M and then A&M's like talking about that being the marquee game?
I think they're trying to hand wave them a little too much. Yeah. They know it's there. Wrong in fairness, and you know where I live in Central Ohio. I live right in the middle of Ohio State, Michigan all the time, and I still think Texas and Texas A&M hate each other more than any two fan bases do in this country, and they haven't played since. Like 2011.
Yeah.
It is an incredible amount of social media hate between those schools. Like that'd be like saying tonight that a Texas fan saying, "Oh, we don't care if Texas A&M beats Tennessee or not tonight." Come on now.
Yeah, we had a long discussion about that game and maybe who we wanted to win.
Who do you want to win? I'm curious.
Okay, so
the journalist hat off.
Yeah, so that's what we did. We laid it all out, and we're like, hey, from an LSU perspective, and rooting for the Tigers, being in Baton Rouge, let's look at it this way. I think if A&M wins, it's not as bad for the Tigers because if Tennessee wins. It looks like they got a lot of momentum, and they got Tony V, and he's got the coolness, and they've got the recruits, and Tennessee's dying to be great in something and win a national championship. Now, A&M as well, but Tennessee baseball's already kind of got this little momentum and juice going, and I think if they win a national championship, Bill, they're going to blow the roof off of it.
Yeah, and I'll tune into that tonight for sure. It's a big night tonight between that and Edmonton playing for a Stanley Cup. I watched that game the other night. interesting to me, and I think most people know this. Canada hasn't won this Stanley Cup since 1993.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you do hockey down there, but it always is interesting to me that, like Las Vegas, for example, won the Stanley Cup in 23, and Canada's been waiting 30-plus years.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay's won it, right, multiple times.
Right, and I have NHL 94 downstairs,
Ooh, yeah.
and they have not won a – that's what put it in perspective. They have not won a Stanley Cup championship since NHL 94 was released on the Sega Genesis.
NHL 94, one of the GOAT video games of all time. Alondra, Cassie, were either one of y'all born in 1994?
No.
No, Cassie?
Not.
No, not born in 1994. We'll move on from that. We don't need to get into it. Yeah, but you're right, Bill. One of the best video games of all time. And we'll see if they can, because it's a great story. Edmonton, I mean, coming all the way back from down 3 games. And T-Bob is a, air quotes here, Florida Panthers fan. He wears the sweater all the time. And so maybe that's why he's in Cabo. He doesn't want to see the collapse. And so that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. The baseball is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm going to be watching Copa America. So there is a ton going on. But, Bill, I want to get back to college football because one of the things I noticed with the Sporting News Top 25, LSU comes in at number 10, so a top 10 team. Now I've kind of seen LSU hovering around the top 10, and maybe there's a poll that I'm missing, but I think this is one of the higher slots for the LSU Tigers. Now, they haven't been too far away from this, but Sporting News, y'all put them right there at number 10. What are some of the things, early in the season you're looking for from the LSU Tigers?
Well, we have them higher than everybody else.
Yeah.
And I whenever I do that, I'm like, okay, what am I missing? I like the offense. I watched the offense in the bowl game. They didn't have the receivers in, so I still think they're going to be able to move the football with Mike Denbrock. Defense, obviously, I think, they have to get better. But they did bring in a new defensive coordinator. I think that interior line holds up. Want to see what Harold Perkins does with moving around. I know he's a dynamic player, and they've got some guys in the secondary that can play. So, again, tough ones are at home. Tough ones. They do have a tough schedule, but a lot of those games are at home, and they're 13-1 at home under Brian Kelly. So, you talk about pressure. I mean, to me, USC, larger reaction than if USC loses to LSU that opener, because that would be 3 years in a row where Brian Kelly's lost the opener.
Yeah, and it would be, look, they haven't won an opener. I mean, it's been multiple coaching staffs. They haven't won an opener since 2019. Like, that's the last time they won an opener. I mean, they, Mississippi State, UCLA, Florida State twice. And so the LSU program, that is not certainly the standard. And you lose 4 straight openers. And so, yes, because of that and because you've got USC the first game, you've got UCLA as well. So, jokes aside, a couple of Big Ten teams in non-conference, but you've got 8 SEC, 2 Big Ten games on your schedule. So, yeah, you got great home games, but it's not going to be easy. But you can't afford to have to just climb uphill again. Like LSU winning 10 games the last 2 years with losing the opener, like it's been a fight, right? You've had to scratch and claw to get there, and so you've done yourself no favors. And so, yeah, 4 straight losses. And, again, like you got UCLA. When you went out to the Rose Bowl a couple of years ago, like you thought you were going to win that one, and Zach Charbonnet and DTR had other plans. And so even that game you can't take lightly, but LSU's in must-win mode for this opener because of the things that, we're talking about here. And you've got Oklahoma now on the schedule, the last game of the season. And so of those questions that I asked to begin, that's why I put LSU and USC in there, because USC as well, Bill, this going into the Big Ten, the last thing they want to do is start 0-1.
Well, yeah, and I think you're writing an article for me right now that I kind of go downstairs and write is who does have this most pressure. Because it's different levels. Like Clemson, another indictment on the program, even though I don't think anybody on the planet expects them to beat Georgia in week 1, everybody on the planet pile on about the transfer portal and Dabo's coaching techniques if they do lose. So I think there's a little bit of a, where's your program at type moment for Clemson. And I think that's another team in week 1 that we'll be keeping a very close watch on. And even the week before, Florida State, Georgia Tech, by the way, playing in Dublin in week 0, that weird week 0 game, that'll be fun. because Georgia Tech's got a little bit of sleeper appeal with Haynes King and what they got coming back.
And I know you are big on Florida State. I mean, y'all have them firmly in the top 10, and they do lose a lot. And so I understand that, but I'm kind of right there with you. I know Lane Kiffin is kind of the portal king, like he has gotten tagged with that nickname, but it actually might be Mike Norvell who's the portal king. What he's done and where he's gone to get players, and Jordan Travis didn't start at Florida State. Jared Verse is at Albany. I mean, Keon Coleman, Trey Benson, like you go around to their stars, Johnny Wilson, they're all from somewhere else. And so Mike Norvell, he's been as good in the portal as anybody.
Right. And, they did lose a lot. I don't really look at that bowl game as any sort of barometer for what might happen this year. They had so many guys sit out that bowl game. They didn't. It was clear they didn't want to be there, and you lose by 60. I think they'll continue to fight. And the ACC, their schedule's a little bit different. A lot of people are going to like Miami. Clemson's going to be in the mix there. NC State's got a lot coming back up front, and Grayson McCall, who's played a lot of football. But to me, it's just talent-wise, and if DJU comes through, Florida State's the most talented team in that conference. They still have receivers, Hakeem Williams. They still have a good defense. We'll see how they absorb losing all that NFL talent, but they'll be right in the mix.
Catching up with our guy, Bill Bender of the Sporting News here on OTB. All right, Bill, before we let you go, the Big 12 is a conference that I cannot wait to see how it plays out. I think it's going to be high-quality football almost every single week. There's like 8 teams I feel like I can make a case for. I'm not saying there's 8 favorites, but there's 8 teams that I could actually make a case for and not feel like I was just completely lying to try to make a storyline. And you've got, the Oklahoma States, the Kansas States, the TCUs that have been kind of maybe waiting, and Texas and Oklahoma are now gone. Can they take over? You've got the Arizona team coming in that's got a quarterback, receiver. They've got some juice to them. You've got Colorado, obviously, a team that everybody in the country watched a year ago with the TV numbers that they did. I mean, so much going into Utah, who might actually be the favorite. There's a lot to like about what's going on in the Big 12. I cannot wait to see the level of football because I think, again, it's going to be high-quality football. Where are you right now with maybe some contenders, teams you like, and maybe, who gets that automatic bye in the CFP? I mean, that's something we're not probably talking enough about. Like, they win the league, they're going to be waiting on their opponent in the playoff.
I change my mind every day on this question. And, if you would have asked me Friday on your show, I probably would have said Utah. And then, today, I'm looking at Oklahoma State, and I see Ollie Gordon and an entire offensive line back in a friendly schedule. Yeah. And, you could say Kansas if Jalen Daniels stays healthy. You could say Kansas State, who's probably the one nobody picks, but they won this league 2 years ago and have a pretty good team coming back as well. So, if I spun the roulette wheel, I would probably just say Utah because of the program I trust most. Cam Rising's back. I know they're going to be good on the interior. Still look back at that bowl performance against Northwestern. I didn't love it, but they did have a lot of guys sitting out that game. So I'll go Utah and Oklahoma State in a Big 12 championship. Might not excite you now, but like you said, the journey to get there is going to be a lot of fun with those games.
No question about it. Cannot wait. He is our guy, Bill Bender, BillBender92 on Twitter. Check out his work on the Sporting News as well. Bill, we appreciate it, man. Catch up with you again soon.
Hey, no problem. Thanks so much for having me.
Man, the Big 12. I know that, maybe you think because they lose Texas and Oklahoma, it's not going to be the same conference. But again, I feel like Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Utah, UCF's going to be much improved, I think, in a couple of different Arizona. Who knows what Colorado is going to be. There's a lot of intrigue there in the new Big 12. All right, we will take our final break of hour number 1. We've got Shea Dixon joining us in about 10 minutes from now to break down all the latest in LSU football recruiting. We'll have all that for you when we jump back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to TrashRangersLLC.com. TrashRangersLLC.com. and sign up today. Ascension, Livingston, surrounding parishes. Sign up today to get your reliable weekly service, one with no hidden fees, and also weekly text reminders. I can't, it's every week with me. I would love to be able to have the red can out there because I am going to forget. You don't forget with Trash Rangers. Again, TrashRangersLLC. CWS.com is where you can go to sign up. But not only for your trash pickup. If you've got a project going on at your home, roll-off dumpsters. That's no matter like where you're listening to us in the Baton Rouge area. We are talking to you no matter where, right? So if you've got that going on, they've got 3 different sizes. So project at home, complete remodel at home, or complete remodel or building a business. Like they have got you covered from every single angle. Again, 3 different sizes with those roll-off dumpsters. Call today to see exactly what size you need at 225-363-9053.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Moscone inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. After a busy recruiting weekend, we'll recap LSU Friday Night Lights and a baseball portal update. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB here on a Monday morning. Bad clock management. It's not just T-Bob, it's the entire OTB staff, so I do apologize for that. Again, we're going to have Shay Dixon on 3, breaking down all the latest in LSU football recruiting. Good news, bad news over the weekend. You gain one, you lose one, and we'll catch up with Shay Deasy here in about 5 minutes from now. And we just caught up with Bill Bender of the Sporting News. They are as high on LSU as I've seen. They had them firmly as a top 10 team. And one of the things like in the article when they're breaking it down, it talks about LSU's offensive line and says there's question marks in a lot of places, but one is not the offensive line. And look, when you have that unit, when you have a Will Campbell, when you have an Emory Jones, when you have two guards that have started and played as much football as Dillinger and Frazier have played, and DJ Chester, no disrespect to Charles Turner, he actually played really, really well, but you've got a big-time prize recruit there in the middle of your offensive line, anchoring the rest of, a dominant offensive line. Like, you feel really good about it. It's going to be certainly the strongest group, and surprise, surprise, the question marks are going to come right opposite of that offensive line on the defensive line, and can they get it done? So check out that article on The Sporting News. Our guy Bill Bender writes about LSU, that offensive line, and what he expects from the Tigers. All right, we will step away, and when we come back, let's talk some LSU football recruiting with Shea Dixon here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to academpbr.com, and I probably don't have to tell you this, because if you were in Baton Rouge over the weekend, you know exactly why you need your air conditioner to not only be working, that's like duh, like it needs to be working, but it needs to be working at its peak performance, because it's going to have to work overtime. This weekend, it was the Devil's Lair in Baton Rouge. It was as hot as hot. It was as humid as it possibly could be, and the last thing that you want is for your AC not to be able to keep up with that South Louisiana heat. So, obviously, if you need a full repair, AgTemp is the place to go. But even if you want to make sure that you are up on your maintenance, even if you want to make sure that it is doing exactly what you're expecting it to do, have them come out, be a part of the Star membership, and you will never have to worry about it. Go sign up today or schedule your appointment at academpbr.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. and we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
All right, and welcome back in to OTB, hour number 2, and we are kicking it off with our guy Shea Dixon on 3.com to break down all the latest and greatest in LSU football recruiting. Shea Deasy, how's it going, my man? Always a pleasure.
It's going well. Thanks for having me on.
Before we get to the recruiting and the things that people are probably tuning in to hear about, I know you're a little bit of a soccer head lately, West Ham being the team. Have you enjoyed the Euros and or Copa America?
I have been watching both. It was quite the run last night when we did not have to wait very long for Captain America to come through, did we?
No, we did not. We did not at all.
2 minutes, however long it was.
Okay, that makes me very happy. That makes me,
What about that shot, though?
I know.
You can do that.
Yeah, if I threw it, maybe. We don't have finishing quality like that very often for the USMNT. So I'll appreciate it every single time. So Shea, I'm proud of you. Watching the Euros, watching US, and you were fully in. Thank you for your service of soccer.
You're a diehard, though, so I need a little more perspective here. Are we good at soccer right now, or is Bolivia just very bad?
Okay, well, two things can be true at the same time.
Yes, they can.
Bolivia is 85th in the FIFA rankings, so they're not great. But the U.S., probably could have won that like 6-0 if they truly finished some of their chances there. But you get a win, and I think two things are true. Bolivia bad, we're good. How about that?
I'll take it. Little non-conference game, maybe.
Yes. Well, it's kind of like LSU football recruiting. A little bit of good, a little bit of bad, and we, going to break it down with you here because you lose a player, you gain a player, and when you lose a player in recruiting, like it never like hurts too bad to me typically because like that's just going to happen, but it does sting a little bit more, Shea, when you lose one that is a state of Louisiana guy.
It does. Jabori Antoine, a top 10 corner, a top 10 DB, a guy who could play corner or safety, opened his recruitment back up, and he had committed in January, right when this new defensive staff had been put together and had been taking visits to Miami and Florida State this summer. Keelan Moses doing the same, taking visits to A&M and Oregon. So those are the two current commitments that actually went out and made summer official visits. And the dead period hits, and Antoine reopens his recruitment. This is one I would say that was not expected. Look, they knew that he was taking visits and all of that, but the timing of it and how he did it was not. They weren't privy to it on the LSU side. So I think now they have to, like any recruitment, turn around and get with Antoine and his camp and see where things go next. If it is one where he's trying to leave the state, this is a kid who had also played a 7-on-7 ball for South Florida Express and not with all the guys. So he's obviously got some connections down there that he's kind of tapped into through those two colleges. And I'd keep an eye on Miami here, sure, but also evidently, or clearly, as you would expect, Jake, LSU's going to fight to get him back. And I will say, though, Westgate, beyond the signing of Demarion Johnson last year, has not been too kind to LSU recently with Derek Williams, one of the top safeties in America, leaving and going to play at Bama, Texas. And prior to that, Lewis going to play at Bama as a tight end. So this felt like kind of a shift in that, right? Like they signed a Westgate kid last year, they had Antoine committed this year, and it seemed like all was well. And now with Antoine reopening things, that stings because Westgate's one of the better programs in the state. Which stings more, obviously, and we're far from signing day, but losing a kid who is a top 100 prospect at a position that you can argue, long-term, even maybe above DT, is their biggest need spot, which is corner.
And Shea, it felt so good because your new defensive staff, obviously they get a major recruit, but also like for Corey Raymond, and we know, and you know this, like OTB's team, Corey Raymond and like the godfather of DBU, and he gets like this prize recruit like right off the bat, and is a new Iberia guy like you laid out, and that's where Corey Raymond's from. And so like it just felt right. It felt like, okay, man, DBU is going to be back sooner rather than later because Corey Raymond goes to his hometown and gets one of the best players in the country. And so like you do still have that part of it. Like you think maybe Corey Raymond can continue to, recruit Antoine and maybe change his mind, get him recommitted. But it does seem like you laid out, he wants to maybe get away, like Florida State, Miami. You mentioned playing, for South Florida there in 7-on-7. Like sometimes it just feels like a guy wants to get out of Louisiana and you can't really do anything to stop him, even if you do have a connection.
Yeah, I think that's very much the case. I think it's the same reason a kid like Keelan Moses at U-High takes visits. We've seen kids who go to U-High their whole life say, I don't want to end up going to, college on the same place, the exact same place, same campus that I went to my entire, high school and before.
Yeah, Hester boys, y'all don't have a choice, so don't listen to that.
Yeah, see, exactly. Some parents will say that, others say go do your thing. Look, I think Keelan probably ends up in this class, but I can understand why guys take visits. But yes, this is a situation, I think, where a guy who grows up in Louisiana, that is a pitch that these other schools use is, hey, get away from it all for the first time. And some kids are interested. Others say, look, you've got a 5-star number 1 running back in Harlan Berry who said, I don't want to go anywhere. This is exactly where I want to be. And that's why I committed early, and that's not why I'm taking a single visit. I'm not taking any visits anywhere. And that's the flip side of this, right, is that, sure, yes, you had a guy reopen his recruitment and say that. At the same time, 2 days earlier, you had the number 1 player in the country, Bryce Underwood, on campus with Harlan Berry, another 5-star, with a ton of other guys who are either committed or will be committed at some point to LSU and are top prospects nationally. And Underwood saying, hey, I'm not making any other visits because I made my decision. Everybody else can do what they want to do. I know where I'm going to college. And that's what you want to hear from not just your quarterback, but when your quarterback is by far the best player in the country, it kind of rings a little bit even better to the ears. So they're in a good spot. It's not doom is gloom. LSU has the number 2 class in the country. And again, before even Antoine yesterday, 13 total commits, 7 of them being top 100 prospects, is pretty elite. They've got the highest blue chip rate in the nation right now. So they've got this recruiting thing figured out. And we are 6 months from signing day. So all will be well.
Yeah, and Underwood's the guy. Like, if you want somebody that is a solid commitment, that's the one that you certainly want to have. And so LSU fans will appreciate hearing that. But for Keelan Moses, and you're right, and we're joking, like sometimes like you go to the school that's literally on the same campus, and maybe you do want to get away. We have seen that for, the last, 15 years since U-High's been putting guys in D1 football, year in and year out. But he was like the guy. And every recruiting class has the guy that is like, he's out front, he's recruiting everybody to come to that school. He's kind of, the voice of the recruiting class, and Keelan Moses has been that for LSU. And so when you see him maybe going to visit or talk about Texas A&M, maybe it does hit a little bit different for you. And maybe, Shay, because he's been committed so long, maybe it was just like a, hey, I'm still here kind of reminder for everybody in the recruiting process because, when you're as committed as he seemed like he was, then maybe coaches don't feel like they have to maybe check up as much on that player?
I think it could be a combination of all that kind of stuff. I mean, you've been around football long enough, and then certainly recruiting to know how it goes and kind of hear different things. I bet it boils down to a combination of, it's not just one thing. It's a little bit of everything. I think you're right in a way that, look, he committed in November and was that guy who said, hey, look, I want to lead this class, all of this. Well, then we turned around to January and they popped Underwood. They popped Harlan Berry. They got Jabari Antoine. And then they go on this run across the spring where they end up having the number 1 class and all of that. And look, our fans out there are all that talking about Keelan Moses every day like they were in November, and other days end up, focusing on the next guys and the next guys and the next guys. And for a kid like Moses, I think it's more than fair to say that, hey, look, I don't need the love type of thing, but hey, look, I want to be able to go and experience some of this as well. And that's what he's doing. And look, he's got his little brother, Emmanuel. He goes on all these visits with him. He's in high school and has got college offers, including from A&M, where a school they've already visited. I think that Keelan wants to be at LSU, I think, at the end of the day, but I think at the same time, he's going to go out and have some fun with it and experience the process and do what 16-year-olds do, which is, us old heads, us 30-plus, 40-year-olds out here, we don't have to agree with everything they do because they're kids. And that's on them. It's their decision. They're growing up into men.
Now, Shay, I don't know if it still works this way, and I don't know if it works with highly talented guys. You know, maybe it was a two-star thing. But I've told the story before. I was about to go on a visit to Miami, and Coach Saban pretty much called me, and he had different wording, but he's like, if you go there, you might not have a place to come back to, right? Because I was silently committed to LSU, and I was still going to take my visit because I had it already set up to Miami. He's like, hey, if you go, I don't know that offer is going to be there when you get back kind of situation. Strong-arming me, right, not to go to Miami. Now, the landscape has completely changed in recruiting, and players have way more leverage than they've ever had before. Did things like that still happen?
Yes.
Okay.
Things like that definitely still happen. I think the risk you run now is, does Jacob Hester turn around and put out on Twitter that Coach Saban called me and told me my spot's not there anymore, you know, and not to certain terms or whatever it is. Right. So it can maybe backfire on you a little bit more quickly than it could then when there wasn't really any way for people to know that unless it got talked all about on the radio or written in the local paper or whatever it might be. But yes, those conversations still happen. But I think a lot of kids know where they're at in the pecking order to the point where they avoid those kind of situations if they can, because it's, as you said, just with it changing and with the NIL, we're all of this. It's get on board, and if you're not, then we're going to go out and replace you with someone else. It's sort of an understood thing. But yes, those not just at LSU, everywhere, even with Saban gone, those conversations for the best teams still happen.
Catching up with Shay Dixon, talking some LSU football recruiting here on OTB. All right, so we've talked about some of the players that LSU has lost over the last couple of days and weeks, but they've also brought in some players. They brought in some linemen, interior offensive linemen, some edge rushers. Where has LSU gained players in this recruiting cycle?
Yeah, here we are. We're feeding to our fan base, right? Very negative all the time. Right before Antoine decommitted, Jake, across 48 hours, they got 4 commits.
Yes.
And both of them for this year, this class, are top 100 guys. Jesse Harold, an edge rusher out of Florida. First commitment for Kevin Peoples, there's the ends coach. Big-time player, top 10 edge rusher, top 100 prospect, elite measurables. I think this is going to be one you look back on and are pretty excited about. So remember that name, Jesse Harold, 2 R's in Harold. But he's on board, committed. So that one's done. And they also popped Carius Kern out of Arkansas, who is the number 1 interior offensive lineman in America, top 25 overall prospect on 3, right in the 5-star range if we had 32 5-stars like there will be by the end of the recruiting cycle. But I also don't think anyone's going to catch him like I don't for Underwood or Berry as the number 1 interior offensive lineman. So you've got 3 number 1 players at their position on offense, and no shock, right? They finished with the number 1 offense last year. Yeah. They kept the offensive staff intact. When you fire a whole defensive staff, it's going to take them from January to now to put their board together, bring guys in on visit, and set up official visits. Now is the first day of the dead period, which is where guys are starting to say, okay, I'm ready to announce my decision. So we saw Jesse Harold pop. That's kind of the first huge piece on defense beyond Antoine back in January for this new staff. And then they didn't have any 26 commits, but they get rolling after Friday Night Lights this weekend when Underwood and all them were here. Ja'Kai Anderson, I thought, looked like probably one of the best receivers out there. He came twice this summer. He's had an offer coming out of McMurray-35. He committed. And then Richard Anderson coming out of Carr, a school that we can say Westgate kids have left the state, but kids who haven't left the state, Carr. Frank Wilson, that group just keeps getting, every year it seems, those guys on board. But Richard Anderson, one of the top 10 defensive linemen in the country, is on board, and that's a neat position. So you get your first 2 commits for next year, both Louisiana guys, and at the same time in that 48-hour span, pop 2 top 100 players who, like I said, one number 1 player at his position and another top 10 edge rusher for Kevin Peoples and his first commitment. So all is well. They still got the number 2 or 3 class, 2, I believe, in the country. So they're rolling, and we'll see what these next couple weeks bring because the dominoes are about to start dropping.
All right, Shay, before we let you go, what are some of those dominoes, maybe some players that you feel like are maybe on the verge of making their decision and kind of finalizing it? Because we're seeing more and more that a lot of high school athletes now, they kind of want to get it over with. They want to have that done before they start their senior year so they can enjoy their senior year, maybe not go through the every single day of talking to college coaches. And so what's maybe on the radar here in the next couple of weeks and maybe month?
Yeah, so you're exactly right. A lot of these guys still want to do the whole, hey, look, I'm done before my senior year, which all of July, I should say, June until right now, until the end of July, last week, a month from now, is a dead period. So that means no more visits, any of that. Coaches can't come see you. And finally, the dust settles a bit. You can kind of sit around with your family or your coaches and make your decisions. So, look, in the next week, I'll give you a couple of defensive guys here in the next couple of weeks. One, CJ Jim Coyley, a safety coming out of Nashville, 4-star, will make his announcement. I think LSU is going to get him. Another defensive lineman, Zion Williams, a big-time 4-star defensive lineman, ended up, it's kind of been an LSU-Texas battle. Bo Davis is recruiting him at both schools. Now, being at LSU, he's recruiting him to LSU. But he was supposed to be at Texas this past weekend for his official visit, and he canceled it on him. Didn't even go. So he'll announce his decision here pretty soon. That one should go in LSU's favor. And there's others across these next couple of weeks that are going to make their college decisions where LSU is considered the leader. So I would think, Jacob, by mid-July, if not, by the end of July, they've probably currently 12 commits. I wouldn't be surprised if they were up to 16, 17, 18, and then kind of be right around that 20 number going into the season, if not more. This is just kind of when the big wave always happens. And we saw it a year ago with kind of the effect of the Bayou Splash. So, yes, it will be a very busy next month, just like this one was. But this one was all about getting kids in on OVs and having summer camps. The next month's all about locking them in before their senior season and getting some commitments.
All right, before we let you go, now the real nitty-gritty. Who do you have winning the Euros?
Oh, man, someone asked me this the other day. I mean, I could go like chalk here, or just like pick a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get a second. You go first. I'll pick someone you don't pick.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like, if I want to go chalk, and maybe Germany, maybe Spain or France, like that's sure. But I think I'm going to go Netherlands.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, try to will that into existence, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm not going to go Spain or Germany or France here. That'd be too easy to pick. I don't think England will win. I think they'll end up choking it. I'll go. Maybe with the hated choice here, I'll go Portugal.
Ooh, actually, I don't hate that one at all. I appreciate Cristiano Ronaldo, and I appreciate Bruno.
We'd have a Cristiano hater here.
Yeah, no. I'm Team Ronaldo when it comes to Messi and Ronaldo. So I can appreciate that pick, Shay. You're the man. We appreciate it. Shay Dixon on 3 Sports, Bingo Tiger on 3 at Shay Dixon is the handle. Give him a follow there, Shay. We appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Jake.
All right, a lot of things going on. He's right. Like, we did start off kind of like with the negative stuff, like the guys that decommitted and maybe the guys that are looking elsewhere. And look, I wanted Shay to come on and give you the edge rusher and the interior offensive lineman in this class. And in the next class, you got defensive linemen and all like highly rated top 100 guys. But we did just talk about the negative part of it. Why are we like that? Why? Is that just us? Is that just like LSU? Is that SEC? Or is that just everybody? I don't know. I feel like it's more us.
I feel like it's a little bit of everybody maybe, but we're specifically pretty bad at it.
Yeah. I don't. So for me, it's more like it was you gained 2 players, one from Arkansas, one from Florida in this class, and they're great players. But like anytime somebody from Louisiana, they decommit, it hurts a little bit more. It hurts a little bit more. We'll see if they can get Antoine back into the fold from New Iberia Westgate there. All right, we will step away. We've got Connor O'Gara Saturday down south in about 12 minutes from now. We've got weekend winners. We've got Devin Snow all still set to join us. We have tried to get a proof of life from Cabo and Yellowstone. We have yet to get so. So if we do, by the end of the show, we'll let you know that T-Bob and Taylor are still with us. We'll have that for you when we come back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Hey, go to centralplumbing.org. Centralplumbing.org. T-Bob's in Cabo, so maybe you got a chance here. 24/7 emergency services, 365 nights, weekends, holidays, big game days. No matter when it happens, they'll be there. 225-925-8552 is always that number in emergencies. or if you just need to schedule something. It doesn't have to always be emergencies, though. Now, we tell you that because it's true, and they're going to help you out, and they're going to get the problem solved. But if you're looking to upgrade, if you're looking to maybe completely revamp your home, maybe the main bathroom, maybe it's a guest bathroom, or maybe you own a business, maybe you're downtown and you have the entire floor for your business where you got multiple restrooms and you want to upgrade, they can come in, they can do that. You'll see that right there on the homepage of the website. Like, their fleet is ready to go with anything that you've got for them. They can handle it. They've seen it before. centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere.
Join us for the Monday edition, live at lunch, live at Big Mike Sports Grill in Denham Spring. Handy's back from the beach, live at lunch, Monday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Sunshine in a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on.
I gotta let this hit. So sorry. Just wait with me here.
Finally, someone let me out of my cage. Now, time for me is nothing because I'm counting no age.
All right, sorry. Couldn't just step all over that song. All right, welcome back in. It is OTB here on a Monday morning. We got Connor O'Gara joining us in a couple of minutes, but here in this segment, we've been asking Taylor, asking T-Bob how they're doing. Hadn't got a response. Taylor's in Yellowstone. Of course he is. And T-Bob is in Cabo. Of course he is. Second time he's been there since April. We haven't heard from him, but investigative reporting by Alondra, we did yesterday have some photos maybe of both.
Yes, so we have some sightings. We haven't heard from them all weekend, but T-Bob posted a picture of him and Caitlin on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, quote tweeted, said, "My love." Yeah.
Yes, so we got them yesterday, and then Victoria, Taylor's wife, posted pictures also yesterday.
So but not today.
Not today. We haven't.
Early.
We don't know anything about either of them.
Okay.
To this point.
Okay.
But there were pictures yesterday.
Pictures yesterday, so at least we know that they made it to their locations and everything seems to be going right. Can we go back, Cassie? Can we go back to that picture of T-Bob and Caitlin there? Great photo, so happy, all black, love it. But T-Bob's got a drink in hand, and we think that what'd you say, pineapple margarita?
It looks to me like a pineapple marg.
Okay, that tracks with T-Bob.
Yeah,
he's a big Marg fan, and being in Cabo, that would probably be his drink of choice there. Now, again, everybody seems to be in black, but do we think T-Bob was in the wedding?
Right.
He never mentioned that.
No. Didn't mention it,
but he's in a tux tux.
It's like very fancy. Like, what is that called?
That would be.
That's around his waist. What is it called?
Oh my gosh, cumber.
That's how fancy it is, though. There's something around your waist that we don't know what it's called.
Yeah, you got to rent that.
And a bow tie.
Yeah, he didn't own that.
And they're both wearing shades.
Yeah, they are.
Which is bougie, but I love it.
So if he didn't tell us that he was in the wedding. Maybe he just slipped his mind. Maybe he didn't know he was. I don't know. So, okay, I'll tell you a story real quick. And I've told this before, but it's been a while. So, Matthew Clayton Flynn, who joins us every single Wednesday here for Flestering, you might know him as Matt Flynn. He was, in 2007, the year I got married, he's in Shreveport for the wedding. And we're at the rehearsal. This is a true story. We're at the rehearsal, and we've already done all the stuff because we're rehearsing, like it's about to happen.
Yeah.
And we're lining up for the wedding, and swear to God, Flynn leans over to me. He's like, "Hey, am I an usher or a groomsman in this deal?"
That's such a Flynn.
It's like, what? It's like, Matt, you're a groomsman. We're here. Like, I've asked you, like, you've gotten the present to be a groomsman. Like, what do you mean? Am I an usher or a groomsman? He's like, I don't know. Like, what's the difference? Like he goes through it. I'm like, Flynn. So just to let y'all know.
Where have you been?
Exactly. Yeah, like he's been a slappy since at least 2007.
Yeah.
Just in case y'all wonder. So when I asked the question, did T-Bob not know if he was a groomsman in this wedding? It's happened to me before, and T-Bob and Flynn sometimes share the same wavelength, and we do too. So I'm not going to throw stones here.
Yeah.
But maybe T-Bob didn't know he was actually in the wedding.
He might not have.
Because you don't wear it. I mean, I don't know.
Or maybe it was like
Cassie, you just got engaged.
Tie.
Like, is this something like, would you expect someone to come to your wedding in a tux if they weren't in the wedding?
Well, my sister just got engaged. But no. I feel like.
Wait, you didn't get engaged too?
No, it was my sister.
Oh. Well, congrats, Jess. I thought you got engaged.
Congrats to both of
okay,
you.
You've got
I'd like to graduate college first before I get engaged.
That's fair. But you have a long-term boyfriend, right? Been with him for a while.
2.5 years.
That's a long term.
That's long, yeah.
So if you did get engaged and you had a wedding, would you expect someone to come in a tux that wasn't in the wedding?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so he's in the wedding.
Well, maybe it's like a black tie.
I mean, do you really do black tie, bow tie, like the whole thing around your waist in Cabo if you're not in the wedding?
I don't know.
Like, I was expecting a lot of linen. I wasn't expecting silk.
So I saw he also posted on Instagram on his story, and I saw him and Caitlin were also in like full white linen outfit one day too.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe he is part of the wedding.
Okay. Look, we're just
trying. It's very fancy.
We are just trying to make sure that our people are safe.
Right. And we don't know.
We don't know, and they're not giving us anything.
We know yesterday they were. Today, we haven't heard from them. We even asked for it.
Yeah. We've asked. And nobody, and I mean nobody, can miss an afternoon flight like the A-Bears.
Right.
So I actually do trust Tay-Tay to get on his flight.
Yes.
He'll be here.
I trust him to get back when he's supposed to be back.
Yeah.
T-Bob, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll start planning the show for tomorrow. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk all things SEC with our guy Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, who joins us here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. If you're buying new, if you're leasing, or if you are renting, they are the place to go because in all three of those processes, everything is available. And I tell you all the time because it is factual no matter what you're looking for. No matter if it's a midsize SUV like the Highlander or the 4Runner. No matter if you need the Sienna minivan. No matter if you need the full-size Sequoia, Tundra, Tacoma. If you're looking for a truck. So many different options. They're going to have an option that meets your needs, your family's needs, whatever it might be. Now, if you're buying new, obviously the obvious answer, like everything's going to be available. And again, like buying new and they've got everything, something for everybody, like duh. If you are leasing, same situation. But even in the rental process, if you're looking something that you want, maybe save miles on your vehicle, something bigger for summer vacation, they've got you covered there as well. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. LSU landed anybody else in the baseball transfer portal, and as a national champion, been crowned. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back into OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We are going to now go to our guy Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. Connor, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well.
Doing really well. You know, it's not Thursday off campus, but good to be talking to you this early in the week.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Look, you're probably going to get a double dose, so it's never a bad thing, right?
No, it's not. It's the middle of June right now. I would rather be talking football than talking about anything else.
Yeah, and so on off campus, we got to go, all 16 teams, and we'll get to some of that, but we can hone in on LSU here on this show. We can also start the conversation talking college baseball because that's an SEC thing as well, and we laid it out, for an LSU fan, lesser of two evils, which one do you want to win tonight? And I think we settled on Texas A&M. I don't really know. What do you think? Which team, if they win tonight, do you think will thrive in the next 5 to 10 years because of this national championship more?
It's tough. I think if you're not a Tennessee fan, you're rooting against Tennessee, just because as long as that hangs over that program that they still haven't won a title, it's the but to everything they do. Whenever they put on the daddy hat, whenever they put on that coat, you think to yourself, all right, well, cool. You guys are still going to find a way to not win a national title. Whereas, with A&M, if A&M loses, I don't necessarily think it's this knock against the program. I think everybody looks at them and thinks, wow, that's kind of the dream. They're extremely well coached. They obviously spend a bit on that program. They've got a new ballpark that's in the works that they're mapping out the plans for and everything. And you look at what they've done and you think that's kind of the dream. That's how you succeed at this sport in the SEC. So yeah, look, I think that both teams are going to be set up for success as long as Tony Vitello is in Knoxville. It's hard to just count out Tennessee. I mean, if they don't win tonight, they will hear about it from everyone far and wide. But yeah, I do think that both these programs are set up for success for a long time.
Yeah, and for Texas A&M, you get the victory there, even though you win 9-5. It never felt comfortable because, like you said, Tennessee just never goes away. They're inevitable. They're going to make a run, and then Tennessee obviously wins the game yesterday, and Tennessee's a big favorite as well. They're, minus 275 in the latest odds that we saw there. So for Tennessee, they're going to have the pressure of being the top dog and being the team that is favored in this one. Can Texas A&M, do they have enough left in the tank? Because it feels like Connor, Tennessee maybe has more. Can you see a way that Texas A&M wins tonight?
Yeah, I absolutely could, just because they've found a way throughout this entire postseason, even with the injuries that they've had, what they've been able to do without Braden Montgomery, to have Caden Kent come in and just be the most clutch player on the planet. You just can't count Texas A&M out. But, watching that game yesterday afternoon, I'm thinking to myself, did they just ruin a national championship by not putting in the best reliever on planet Earth in Evan Oschenbeck? And I know A&M fans will push back. They'll be like, well, we threw 46 pitches yesterday, and Schloss is talking about how, they were always going to give him a day of rest and want to have him ready to go for game 3. You have a late inning lead with single-digit outs left, and he is the best pitcher for that moment. And you said, no, let's save him. There's no guarantee A&M's going to have a lead tonight. And to me, I think those are the types of decisions that we scrutinize, obviously, but they can define national championships. And if A&M doesn't win tonight, and if they never are leading in this game, they're going to look back and go, man, it would have been nice to empty the tank with a guy that got us here.
That's a great point. And you never know. You're exactly right. Because last year, right, LSU wins game 1, Florida wins game 2, and then game 3 was a rout, right? And we all wanted to see Paul Skeens pitch, and the score got so out of hand that we didn't even get to see Paul Skeens. And even when he went to the bullpen, just to throw, I think in the 7th or 8th, we got fired up. But you're right. You never know if that moment is going to come. And so we'll see if Texas A&M can kind of live up to that moment. Tennessee feels like they're ready for that moment. I'm expecting it to be a competitive game 3 there in Omaha. All right, let's get to some college football. Let's stick with Tennessee. I know that you're pretty high on the Vols, and would you agree with it feels like you're either Tennessee or LSU when it comes to like a team to look out for in the SEC type scenario? Like those two teams feel like you're either one way or the other. They seem to, no matter who I talk to, be the teams. It's like, yeah, okay, we know kind of some of the tiers, but Tennessee, LSU, new quarterbacks that everybody kind of trusts already, even though they haven't had but one start in their careers. They feel like they're kind of side by side right now.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a world that could exist with both of them being 10-2 or 11-1. As weird as that sounds, it kind of feels like one of those teams, or maybe Oklahoma, is going to emerge, because I don't think Oklahoma's roster is what that 7.5 over-under would suggest. But, I do think it's going to be fascinating to see the strengths of both teams. I think Tennessee has a lot of questions on the back end. I think LSU has a lot of questions on the back end. Are there going to be games in which their new starting quarterbacks feel like they have to do so much of that heavy lifting just because they can't stop a soul on defense? I think that's a fair question to ask, and I wonder how that's going to play out. There's probably not a lot of variance between 10-2 and 8-4, and that's the thing that nobody wants to talk about when we do these preseason projections. But yeah, I like Nico Iamaleava, still crushing the pronunciation of that one. I like Garrett Nussmeier. And I like both of those guys having all SEC type upside this year, but getting to the college ball playoff, even in this expanded field, you saw with these teams last year, they wouldn't have been able to make it in the field despite all the things that they had going well for it. Tennessee more so on the defensive side, obviously, than LSU. But yeah, it does kind of feel like they have some of the same questions that we're asking about them going into this season, a very new era with the 12-team playoff at play.
Where do you have both those teams? Like if I was asking you like to put pecking order, and I would assume like most of us, it's Georgia and Texas at the top. But like, how many teams would you have in between Tennessee and LSU and Georgia and Texas there if they are in fact at your top?
Yeah, I put them in that tier 2. I'm probably not. I have to come out with my playoff projections this week, so by the time that we talk on off campus later in the week, I might have that actually laid out for you. But I do think that Georgia and Texas are that tier 1. And then the tier 2 in the SEC is so big. I think it's Alabama, Mizzou, Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma. Like I think all those teams are kind of in that tier 2 where in any given week they could beat up on each other. Whereas Georgia and Texas, I don't necessarily know that teams outside of that group are going to beat them. Obviously, they face each other in the regular season in Austin. But to me, I think that's kind of where my playoff conversation starts. I know I'm going to have those two teams in. I've got to figure out the rest of that piece and what that looks like. I'm so tempted to say, like, I just think people are sleeping on Oklahoma. And I think that's the team that can really break through with a roster that has questions, mainly in the trenches, which is ironic because that was the question during the entire Lincoln Riley era.
Yeah.
But, you add someone like Dominic Williams, the name that LSU fans know very well, probably for some wrong reasons. And you look at what they can do on the offensive line. If it's just simply a mediocre unit, they have such good skill players on the outside. And Jackson Arnold is this guy that they think he is, man. Like, I just think Oklahoma has the ability to kind of surprise some people. So, yeah, tier 2 is kind of far and wide in the SEC this year.
Yeah, and schedule. Like, right, you look at schedule whenever you're having this conversation and maybe you're trying to find what sets one team apart from another. If you feel like they're kind of evenly match there. I think Oklahoma does have a difficult schedule, but I agree with you as far as Oklahoma got some Jimmies and Joes that I think will certainly pull off a couple of wins where they're not the favorite there. And also scheduling is why I kind of, Ole Miss, I have them taking that next step because, yeah, there's question marks. Every team's got question marks, but when your toughest non-conference game is going to be at Wake Forest, like, yeah, you've got at LSU and you've got Georgia, you've got Oklahoma. Now those games are at home, but Furman, Middle Tennessee, sorry, Chris Childers, at Wake Forest and Georgia Southern, like when you compare that to what some of the other teams in the SEC are doing, like we were laying out LSU schedule, like you have USC, you've got UCLA, right? Those are two, funny enough, Big Ten teams that you're playing against in non-conference. Like that, for that reason, like Ole Miss is going to maybe go up in that conversation because, again, at Wake Forest being your toughest non-conference game, that's going to go a long way.
They just have to. The schedule sets up so unbelievably well. Lane was talking at an event in Memphis over the weekend, and one of the questions that he was asked was like, what's the position group that you're most excited about? He said it's actually the defensive line. And that to me is the big difference for this Ole Miss team compared to any that we've talked about in the past. They add Walter Nolan in the transfer portal, the former number 2 overall recruit from Texas A&M, who was on a tear to start off last year before he gets hurt against Tennessee. They add Princely Uman-Mielen, who is Florida's only all-SEC defensive player of the last 3 years. They have guys coming back like Jared Ivey, the former Georgia Tech transfer, J.J. Pegues, the former Auburn transfer. Their defensive line might be the best in the SEC, which is a crazy thing to say in any year in which Georgia exists. But it's really true if you look at how good they should be up front. And can that be the thing that gets them to that place that they weren't at last year, where they got blown off the field against Georgia? I don't think they're going to beat Georgia in Oxford, but I think they've done a really nice job addressing those areas of concern to where, now I feel like I have to put Ole Miss into that playoff conversation, because if they did everything that we thought that they were supposed to do this offseason to upgrade that talent level, man, what's really holding them back at this point?
All right, one more team before we let you go. Catching up with the guy, Connor O'Gara, Saturday down south. And I don't get to talk about this team very often because normally as soon as I do, T-Bob just shuts it down because he's a hater. But that is Kentucky. And you know me and you know Doring. Like, we've been on the Kentucky train for a long time. And they get Georgia at home. They've got to go to Ole Miss, right? They play Auburn. They got to go to Tennessee. They got to go to Texas. Like, it's brutal. Like, their schedule to me is one that we're not even talking about enough. They got to go to the Swamp. I mean, brutal trips this year for UK. But, I mean, look, Mark Stoops has done it before, and he typically, like, when you count him out, that's when they have their biggest year. You get Brock Vandagriff to be the quarterback there. Nobody's talking about Kentucky, and they typically this time, Connor, they're the team. Watch out for the Wildcats, and I'm usually leading that charge. What are you expecting from UK this year?
I can't get them to that 12-team playoff upside. I can't get them into that conversation when, the reality and the stat that, KSR has brought up many a time is, Mark Stoops only has 2 wins against SEC programs that finish with a winning conference record.
That's T-Bob's go-to as well. Yeah.
Yes. So I get it from that standpoint. Like, I totally get it. And I keep my ear to the ground at Kentucky. Like, my brother and sister-in-law live in Lexington. I've been, many a time. And, I spent a little bit of time with Brock Vandagriff earlier in the offseason, kind of getting to know the player that he's become. And that's still a massive question mark to me at quarterback, understanding that, you have a new offensive coordinator coming in Bush Hamdan, who was not there when Brock Vandagriff committed. He committed to my doppelganger, Liam Cohen, who then goes to the NFL. So what does that look like on the offensive side of the ball, where they had to delay everything in spring to be able to kind of implement that offense? And it's going to be a little bit touch and go, I think, despite the fact that they've got a lot of returning production at receiver. But, I have questions about Kentucky for that reason of, look, if they can't win those games and shock the world, it's still not a team that's going to be in those conversations for the 12-team playoff at season 10, despite the fact they might have the single most disruptive SEC player in Deion Walker, a guy who does things with 350 pounds that no human being should ever be capable of doing on the defensive line. So, it's going to be a year with tempered expectations for Kentucky. I hate to tell you, but it just feels like the Cats are kind of on that outside looking in, more of that 7-5 type conversation.
All right, there he is, Connor O'Gara. Good enough to join us here on OTB. Connor, appreciate it, and I'll catch up with you in a couple days.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, man.
Just hating on the Wildcats. And you look at their schedule. Unfortunately, I'm typically their biggest defender, and I absolutely understand it. You host Georgia. You're at Ole Miss. You're at Florida. You go to Tennessee. You also go to Texas, and then you've got Louisville at the end of the year at home, but still a program that has gotten much better over the last couple of years, certainly last year with Jeff Brom. T-Bob, I hope you didn't hear that, but we don't even know if you're with us still, so you probably didn't. All right, we'll step away. We've got weekend winners in about 10 minutes from now. We still got Hold the Mayo joining us, Devin Snow a little bit later on. Stay locked in here. It is OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to PECBuilt.com, PECBuilt.com. Pinnacle Exterior Construction, pools, outdoor living spaces, any kind of fence, bulkheads. You name it, they can do it for you in your outdoor space. Now, a couple of different things. Like if you want a spec pool, man, they have got a brochure and it has got multiple options. I'm not just talking about, hey, you can only do a rectangle. You can only do a kidney-shaped pool. That is not going to be the case with Pinnacle. Now, as you know, like anything custom as custom can be, they'll be able to go out there and handle that. But I want to tell you about like the turf space that they can put in your yard. So if you like want a putting green, if you want somewhere to practice your chips on, if you want somewhere like for me, like you can work out on, like you can push sleds on, you can do any outdoor activity, you can do some soccer training, football, like whatever it is, that turf space, no matter the weather, you'll have it available to you. Check it out online, pecbuilt.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com. Hey, it's Matt Moscone. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary. For those
Moscone inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. After a busy recruiting weekend, we'll recap LSU Friday Night Lights and a baseball portal update. Join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. OTB finishing up hour number 2 before we get to weekend winners. Did it again. Bad clock management. We'll get better eventually. Probably not. We do have Copa America taking place. You might hear some of the Copa America talk a little bit later on when we do weekend winners. We still got the Euros going on. It's actually, now I guess if you don't like soccer, maybe not, but I mean, Copa America, Euros, you got Stanley Cup Game 7, you've got a winner-take-all College World Series. During a typical dead time, there's some things to be excited about. So which one will y'all watch tonight? Alondra, will you watch the soccer? You going to watch the hockey? Or are you going to watch the college baseball?
I'll watch mostly college baseball, but I'll flip in and out.
Okay. All right. All right, Cassie, I'm going to make you answer this as well. I know you're going to be diving into all of it.
I mean, I'll probably watch a little bit of the baseball game, but other than that, that's probably.
See, that's like I have to unfortunately, because of off campus, I have to watch the baseball game.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be talking about it. We'll have live reaction to kind of all the situations. So I'll have to watch it in deep detail. And again, we'll have to watch one of those teams lift the national championship trophy. As I mentioned, we do have weekend winners coming back when we start off hour number 3. We do have Devin Snow, Hold the Mayo, joining us in about 20 minutes from now. Stay locked in here with us. It is OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to RejuveMeMedical.com. RejuveMeMedical.com is the place to go, your age-defying clinic, and you can get a consultation set up right there on the website. A couple of different ways that you can get that done. You'll see the number that you can call and text right there on the website. You also, on the site, you can check out a list of conditions that they can treat for you. Fatigue and insomnia, mood and memory problems, sexual dysfunction, weight gain. That's the one they always kind of stop on because maybe you're gaining weight like you never have before. You can't really explain it, right? You're like, I'm doing the same things that I've always done. They can get to the bottom of it. Or maybe you've been working out. You've been changing the things that you've been doing. You've been changing your lifestyle and you're just not dropping the weight like you used to. Well, there's something that's going on within your body and they can help you over at Rejuve Me Medical. So again, go to their website, get the consultation set up on the homepage, top right corner in Louisiana and Mississippi now, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
All right, and welcome back in. Hour number 3 of OTB here on a Monday morning, and it is 9 o'clock. It is Monday morning, so that means weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
All right, my first weekend winner, and if I'm stealing one from you, Alondra, it is okay. You can just talk about it as well, because I feel like I'm about to. Okay. Angel Reese.
No.
Okay, Angel Reese, weekend winner. The Chicago Sky, they get the win over the Indiana Fever on Sunday. And Angel Reese had a career-high 25 points and 16 rebounds to lead the Sky to a great comeback. I think it was 88-87 over the Fever. Now, Caitlin Clark had 17 points and 13 assists. She played well. And, I mean, so many tweets that I saw about this game, Instagram, so many posts about this game. The WNBA is at an all-time high. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese are right there behind the rise of the WNBA. And this is like bird and magic.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be on one side or the other. They're going to go after each other every single time they play each other. And Angel Reese gets the best of Caitlin Clark. Again, career high 25 points and 16 rebounds for Angel Reese.
Yeah, they're so polarizing.
Yeah.
And like you said, you pick one or the other. And I saw a meme or a tweet or whatever, and it's like, do they play each other once a week? I'm like, look, the WNBA doesn't have as many teams as the NBA does.
They don't.
So maybe they do play once a week. But
they only have 12 teams in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it might feel like they play once a week. And trust me when I say, if they could play every other day, the WNBA would allow it.
Oh, yeah. My first weekend winner, my guy, Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whitaker, he got a KO win in less than 2 minutes into the first round. So showing out, because I don't know, the UFC has been doing him a little dirty. So good win for him. Yeah, that guy came in like on a week notice, and he only has like 2 UFC fights under his belt, but it was a good knockout.
I felt bad for the guy.
I know. It was
like, hey, come take this whooping real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Like literally less than 2 minutes that he got that knockout. So shout out Bobby Knuckles. I think that you need to give him Sean Strickland next, and then whoever wins that fight needs a title shot.
Can you imagine taking a UFC fight like on just short notice?
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, so much goes into the training camps. And it's like any sport, right? You got to prepare. And that's why we do training camp and everything. But, like, for me, like for football, like you get calloused during training camp.
Yeah.
It's a month long, and fighters the same way. Like, that's when you build up your chin. That's when you build up your endurance. That's when you build up your like everything. It's like,
he took
man,
it
a couple days.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's like... Well, like, to your point, though, you've trained for so long, and then somebody like Michael Chandler, who's been waiting years and years to fight Conor McGregor, for that to get canceled a month before it happens, and then Pereira and Jiri need to come in on that short notice. Yeah, and Pereira needs to drop like 20 pounds, which is, I don't know.
Imagine like having to drop 20 pounds.
Yeah, in a month.
In a short period of time. And then drop 20 pounds, but also still kind of stay strong enough to go out there and win the fight, and making sure you're doing like all the things nutrition-wise that you have to do.
Yeah, that's the tricky part about it.
Yeah.
How do you do that without starving yourself?
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I'll never find out. All right, Cassie, weekend winner.
All right, so
or loser.
It's a winner.
Okay.
So I play in a cabbage ball. It's an adult cabbage ball league with my family.
Oh, what?
All right, explain cabbage ball.
Yes, that's a New Orleans thing. It's basically like a shorter version of baseball, but like with a little bit different rules, and you play like with a big giant like soft-ish ball. It's literally in the shape of a cabbage, and you play like on concrete and cement, and it's very like short bases. But anyway, so I play in like a league at my elementary school with my family. It's an adult league, and we won our game last night. So
hell yeah!
Congratulations, weekend winners! Like literally, I'm looking this up. I have never seen this before.
I forget that it's like a Metairie-ish New Orleans type thing. Like nobody else knows what it is.
That's actually kind of crazy.
Inside the Bayou Ford chat, let us know if you know what cabbage ball is, and if you've ever played cabbage ball.
It's also called indoor balls. Sometimes people play it indoors, but.
All right, I'm seeing it like so on Google. What is cabbage ball? All rules are the same as other Play NOLA softball leagues, with a couple of notable differences. Games will be played with a cabbage ball. It's a larger and softer than a regulation softball. Players will not play with gloves. Cabbage balls don't travel as fast and are relatively soft, so they can be caught with bare hands.
Yes. Dev says he can explain when he comes on.
Perfect.
He would know.
Perfect. I think that would be.
Can't wait to talk about cabbage ball.
He would absolutely know. Okay, Devin Snow, who's going to join us like in 10 minutes, he'll be able to break it down for us. My next weekend winner, the United States men's national team. Christian Pulisic scores in the 3rd minute, and really, even though it only ended up 2-0, the U.S. dominated the match against Bolivia. Now, Bolivia 85th in the FIFA rankings. The U.S., I believe, in the latest FIFA rankings, come in at number 11, so you're always supposed to win this match, but you went out there and you took care of business, and now you start out Copa America with a win. And Copa America, if you don't know, it's typically a South American tournament, but every once in a while they'll invite some other teams from other parts of the world. And oftentimes North America is going to be, if they do this, part of it. And so you've got some CONCACAF teams that are invited this year, like Panama, all right, in the CONCACAF, Mexico, Canada, Jamaica, the United States, all in this tournament. And so USA off to a good start. Christian Pulisic's goal in the 3rd minute was not your typical U.S. goal. It had incredibly high quality. Check it out if you haven't seen it. So weekend winner, U.S. soccer.
I'll keep it Copa America. Mexico beat Jamaica.
And that's all the time we have here for
1-0. They're going to play Venezuela on Wednesday, and Venezuela beat Ecuador.
They did, and that's a little bit of an upset. Now, Ecuador got a red card in the 22nd minute of that match.
Yikes.
And so, they were down to 10 men most of the match and actually took an early lead, being down a man, but still Venezuela was able to come back and score 2 goals. And so Mexico probably going to be a favorite in that game.
You think so?
As well. Yeah, Mexico's group's, I don't want to say easy, but it's a U.S. and Mexico got good draws.
Yeah.
They got one good team apiece, I think, in their group. So we could see, U.S. Mexico maybe meet in Copa America.
Oh, let's go.
Some more weekend winners. I'm going to stay here with soccer because, well, that's what's been on my television nonstop, and my wife is probably agreeing, listening to the show somewhere right now. And one of the games that kind of lived up to the hype over the weekend was Switzerland and Germany. Switzerland was a team that you just felt like their style was going to be really good against Germany. Like it was actually going to play really, really well, and it did that. But Germany gets a goal in stoppage time. So yesterday's Euro is kind of the weekend winner here. Hungary and Scotland played each other. It was 0-0 until the 99th minute, and Hungary was able to score a goal. They actually knocked Scotland out of the Euros. They're going to be advancing. It has been high quality soccer throughout the tournament. And it is so funny to watch 2 different styles. Like you watch the Euros, and it is never going to be confused with Copa America. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get good soccer in Copa America. Argentina won the last World Cup, but the styles and differences, I mean, the physicality in Copa America compared to the Euros, maybe the quality of some of the passing and stuff in the Euros is completely different. But y'all know me. I know y'all don't maybe enjoy it, but I do. So weekend winner, the Euros, because you had two fantastic games just yesterday.
Okay, I've got a weekend winner, the Leif Mesh Band. There are winners from the Battle of the Bands that we had Friday
How'd that
night.
go?
It went really well. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Cassie went, so maybe she could. What'd you think, Cassie? As like somebody who didn't because I feel like I'm biased.
Yeah, I didn't really work it.
Yeah. So I was like, it was great, but I don't know.
No, I thought it was fun. It was a really good turnout, though.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a great turnout.
What would you have done if Cassie would have got on the mic and said, actually, it kind of sucked?
I would have been like, what can we do better next time?
No, you would not have.
No, I wouldn't have.
That would not have been it.
But
so,
yeah.
Okay, who's the band that won again?
Leif Mesh Band. They're from Lafayette. It was a 3-man band. They were awesome. And they're going to be opening for Kenny Wayne Shepherd on July 13th. That was the prize for the winner of the Battle of the Bands. But all of the bands were great. It was hard to pick a winner. They won by 2 points. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was great.
What kind of music were they?
They were
rock, blues.
Yeah, rock. I would say more rock than blues. They did a couple.
Because Kenny Wayne Shepherd's pretty bluesy.
He's bluesy, yeah. But I think they're going to be a good opener for him. And they had a couple of covers that I love. They covered "Creep" by Radiohead, and then they covered.
At first, I thought you said Creed, and I was going to say, shout out.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
No,
that's how you go win a competition,
right? I would have gave I wasn't a judge, but I would have given them all 10s if they would have did that. But they did "Creep" by Radiohead, and then they did "Black" by Pearl Jam, which I feel like you don't really hear that covered a lot, and it was really good. So weekend winner, Leif Mesh Band.
I'm sure somewhere Moscona appreciated it, being a big Pearl Jam fan.
He loved it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was there.
Yeah, he was one of the judges.
Oh, they were playing to the judges.
Yeah.
They've heard Moscona talk about Pearl Jam more than anybody's ever talked about Pearl Jam.
I know.
Jam
One
before.
time I said that Pearl Jam's not my favorite, and he was like, "Get out the studio."
I think like one of the first times that we were doing, because I used to come on right after him, and so I do the last segment on his show every single day, and I forget what song, maybe it was "Last Kiss," which is a cover, like it was my favorite Pearl Jam song. He didn't like that answer.
Yeah.
Not at all. So they were
like
definitely playing to the judge. Yeah, that's basically what he said.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's cool. Weekend winner for sure. My last one, I don't know if you have another one, Alondra. Sorry, Cassie, we can't get to your last weekend winner. I know you have so many more. Chicago Cubs. They unveil a Ryan Sandberg statue at Wrigley Field. Now, I'm not a Cubs fan. Hunt Palmer, air quotes, T-Bob Hebert, Cubs fans here at the station. But I always appreciated Ryan Sandberg and the way that he played baseball. He did it with grit, determination, whatever he had to do to find a way. And also, like, if you're my age, you probably, in Louisiana, because you didn't have a team. I mean, you still don't have a team, but like the Astros have kind of become the team. That was not the case when I was growing up in Louisiana. If you're my age, you picked the Cubs or you picked the Braves. That's just the way it was. WGN or TBS. Now, I went the Braves, but with WGN always being on TV, you end up watching a ton of Cubs games, and they played all-day games. And so you saw Ryan Sandberg a ton on your TV, and he was somebody that was always a lot of fun to watch. I think 285 career average, 282 home runs, over 1,000 RBIs, 16 Major League Baseball seasons, played incredible defense as well. So shout out weekend winner Ryan Sandberg getting a statue outside of Wrigley Field. All right, Alondra, any more?
Just real quick, shout out Oilers pushing it to Game 7.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They were
I'm
down
not rooting for anybody, but it's
3-0.
been awesome.
Yeah. They were down 3-0 at the beginning. Somehow pushed it to a Game 7. So shout out the Oilers.
Yeah, that has been a lot of fun to watch that play out. I had no expectation for them to even win a game after the way the first three went. They didn't really even look competitive, and then here they come, 3-0 in. My God, the Florida Panthers, you know what? It's tight.
Yeah.
Well, it is tight.
Real
We'll say
tight.
that. Real tight. Real tight right now. Maybe that's why T-Bob isn't here in his Florida Panthers sweater that he always wears around here. Bilbo hadn't been in the chat as much either.
Nuh-uh.
Not a lot of Bilbo action
Nah.
inside the Bayou Ford chat, who is certainly our Florida Panthers correspondent here on OTB. All right, before we take this break and get to Dev, I want to tell you about the MMR Group, mmrgrp.com. And if you're looking to change your life, if you're looking to get into a career, not a job, but find a career, go to mmrgrp.com. Once you go there, top right corner of the website, it says careers. It even says careers, right? Not jobs, careers. Click on that. It'll show you everything that they have available. Remember, I mean, so many different locations. You're going to be able to kind of hook up with them, find a job. You can kind of read, go to any search engine, type in MMR Group, and it's going to show you how the employees feel about this business. You'll see the reviews. You'll know exactly what they feel and how they've, enjoyed their experience with the MMR Group. And again, off Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, if you can go check out that campus, it is built for your success. mmrgrp.com. All right. We will step away here now, and when we come back, we are going to get cabbage ball explained to us by a Shalmation himself, Mr. Devin Snow, right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to K2ZBlinds.com. That's KTOZBlinds.com, and we'll set up a consultation. And I always encourage you to do that, because maybe you don't think there's a solution to whatever your problem is. Or maybe you don't have a problem. Maybe you just want it for the aesthetics of it. But I can just tell you this. For us, we had a problem. Like, we had an issue. Like, we had a area that we wanted to be shaded, and we wanted one of the motorized screens to be able to come down, bring it up, bring it down whenever we wanted to, and really enjoy the area. And it has done that and so much more. Like, it completely changes the dynamic, the temperature of our outdoor kitchen kind of space, and it's with just one touch of a button. But the thing I didn't know is it was going to cool off our entire living room, right? So maybe even save on some of the AC bill. It was going to take all the glares off the TVs. Like, I had no idea, but Brandon Barton and his team, they knew exactly what they were doing. They'll do it for you as well. K2ZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
Join us for the Monday edition Live at Lunch, live at Big Mike Sports Grill in Denham Spring. Handy's back from the beach, live at lunch, Monday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
She said, I don't know if I've ever been good enough. I'm a little bit rusty and I think my head is caving in.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. OTB. I don't know if Dev's old enough to do this, so I'm going to ask him now. Devin Snow, Hold the Mayo, our guy joining us. Dev, like a song like that reminds me when it used to play on the radio, I'd have to hear it, have a tape ready to go inside the tape deck, jump over the bed, hit play and record at the same time to see if I could put it on the mixed tape, not CD, mixed tape, and I never got the beginning of the song. Like that feels like peak Matchbox 20 kind of is the timeline of that. Are you old enough to remember that?
I definitely remember it.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one doing it. It was like my stepdad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that is peak mid-90s.
Yeah.
You know, like had to make it happen.
Bro, you never got the beginning of the song. Like
No, you never.
like No Diggity by Blackstreet had a great intro to the song, but I wouldn't know it because it was never on the mixtape.
Yeah, no, you gave a good effort. That's all you could do.
All right. Well, speaking of effort, you got to tell me what kind of effort it takes to play a little cabbage ball, because Cassie said it's maybe a Metairie thing. Is that what you said, Metairie? All right, maybe Metairies, like we like to call it here on OTB. Now, Dev, you're not from Metairie. You know all about Metairie, but you're a Chalmatian. Like, so do you feel like you can tell us about cabbage ball?
Oh, 100%. And I didn't really have a lot to talk about today, so when I heard the word cabbage ball, I was like, dude, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So it's been around, like, it comes from New Orleans, but it originates in Chicago. Like, dude, this game has been around as long as, like going back to, like, Abraham Lincoln. You know, it started in Chicago, made its way to New Orleans around, like, the 40s, and it's a South Shore game. It's big old ball. I don't know if you remember the movie Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, about the size of, a little smaller than that. The ball's about the size of Moscona's head. So it's like the best way I could explain it, and 5 guys, 5 girls. So it's a unified sport.
Okay.
Got to have 5 guys, got to have 5 girls. If I remember correctly, dudes have to hit left-handed. So I don't know if they do that all
Cassie,
over.
do you know if that's the case for your team?
When I played like in grammar school, obviously as kids I didn't have to, but in our adult league, guys do have to hit like opposite-handed.
Okay, Dev, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here that I've used in the past, and I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is. And so I throw right-handed, and I do everything right-handed, but I actually bat left-handed.
Okay. So
You'd have to bat right-handed.
No, see, but nobody knows that. And so, like, everybody be getting up there hitting left-handed, and I would just follow suit because I threw right-handed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are Jacob Astor, so, like, bro, I would hope that, like, they check that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, this is like before some of that, playing in high school and, maybe some early college days softball, like, you want me to get there left-handed? Okay. All right. I'll do it.
And it's also, like, adults, like, it's one of the only competitive sports that I've seen, like, you can drink, like, there's dudes in the outfield drinking beer.
Yeah.
So, you can sit there with a beer. I don't know, man. It's fun. And Chalmette, dude, on Friday nights, cabbage ball, that was literally, at that time, late 90s, early 2000s, that was one of the best things going. Like, people showed up at Versailles Park, filled up every diamond, and played cabbage ball.
Do we know, like, the origin of when cabbage ball started? Like, because this feels very New Orleans, right? Even trying to do a quick Google search, like everything was New Orleans. Like, do we know the origin and maybe when this became a thing?
Yeah, in New Orleans, it came around like in the 40s and the 50s. But
Okay.
supposedly, according to the internet, it really came from Chicago, which kind of makes sense because Chicago and New Orleans, like, we got some similarities, right? So supposedly it came out in like late 1800s in Chicago.
Do we have a picture of the actual ball? I think I actually need to see what this looks like. Oh, there it is right there. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
looks like-
expecting it to look like a cabbage.
I mean, it's shaped like a cabbage.
like,
It's not that big.
I wanted it to look like actually like a piece of cat. You know what? Actually, Dev, they sell cabbage balls that are green in the shape like a true cabbage. Like, I don't know if they actually will play, but I'm seeing it right now on the internet. You can buy a cabbage ball. Like what Cassie's showing, like that's a baseball or a softball or whatever. It's just in a different shape and maybe different size, and obviously it's softer, but you can buy one that's actually a cabbage, Dev.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. This official cabbage ball, boy. I tell you what, that thing looks slick, dude. and it's one of those things, like, if you can hit this thing over the fence, you're gonna feel so good. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like scoring a goal in soccer, because I mean it's a heavy ball. Like,
Man, I cannot believe I'm almost 40 years old. I've never heard of cabbage ball.
yeah, it's definitely South Shore, because
Okay.
like I've brought it up to a bunch of people, and depending on where they live at,
Yeah.
same exact reaction you gave. You're like, I've never heard of this. Yeah. No, dude, like this is. I don't know how much they play in it nowadays, but they should bring it back. I mean, everybody's talking about pickleball, this, that, and the other. This is a fun sport, cabbage ball.
You're right. You're like, the rest of the world is like, oh, in pickleball, but no, South Louisiana, cabbage ball.
Cabbage ball.
Not go play pickleball. All right. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna do some research.
Ball and crawfish boil. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like pickleball doesn't seem like our speed anyway, so I'm behind cabbage ball. Look, although I don't want to judge a book by its cover, my man Devin Snow's been out there on the golfing range trying to get right and get better. Like now, anytime I see Dev's videos, he's got a golf club in his hand. Dev, we got to get an update. You went the other day when we talked with you. You were going that day to get fitted for custom clubs. Has that changed your golf game at all?
Dude, it has. I went yesterday.
There you go.
To play. Yeah, I mean, dude, it was 100 degrees outside yesterday. So I only played 9 holes, but yeah, it's getting better, dude. That's the thing about golf. And golf's one of them sports, man. If you can go and play it, go play it, because you meet a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, there's like peace to it. It's like the same peace I get from fishing. It's just, I don't know, but yeah, dude, I'm coming, bro. I'm coming. Watch out for me.
Before you got ridiculed by one of the goats of Louisiana, was golf going to be a passion, or did you just go out there for a video, you did it, then when Drew called you out, you're like, I'm going to go prove one of the goats of Louisiana wrong?
It's exactly how it went down. I mean, couldn't have said it any better. Like, that is what happened. Once Drew put attention on, I was like, okay, I'm going to live my life. You know, every swing, I'm dedicating it to Drew Brees. So that's all I needed, bro. Sometimes you just need a little motivation.
What is going to be the feat on the golf course? Like, what are you going to have to do and have it filmed and send it to Drew? Like, is it going to be a true birdie? Like, is that going to be enough to go out there, send it to Drew and say, like, hey, I got 2 words for you? Like that kind of situation? Like, what's going to be? Is it going to be a long putt? Like, what are we talking about before we maybe put it out there on Twitter?
Bro, we're talking about like 20 straight years going forward of every good shot I hit, yo, that's for Drew. And that is just 20 years of it, you know. Yesterday I didn't film one, and I'm telling you, dude, it was the best shot I've ever shot. It was with an iron. It was with a 7-iron, and it was a par 3. The ball literally landed right by the hole. And it was just the best shot I ever shot. And, yeah, I didn't film it, so here's what it is.
Where was it at? What course?
Belterre and Laplace.
Okay. It might be a great course. I don't know golf at all, so my snicker there was because, of course, Dev went to Laplace for the golf.
Yeah.
I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah. Hey, look, Laplace is a weird place. Got a nice golf course now.
I believe it.
And it has a nice golf course. That's how it is.
I believe it. All right, so it is Monday, Red Beans and Rice Day. Do we know what area of Louisiana we're going to be in today? Like, should we go to Laplace just because we've shouted it out a couple times now?
We should, but we not. But we should. No, I know where I'm going. I'm going to Bromart, dude. A staple, Louisiana staple.
There's got to be there's got to be some days where, I don't want to go on an adventure. Like, I don't want to hope that it's good. Like, there's probably some Mondays that where you want to go because you want to hit.
Yeah, dude, it's such a man. So this will be 215 Mondays, and I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you. Some Mondays I wake up, I'm like, dude, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to figure this out. But like a place like Bromart, never been on the segment since I've been doing the segment.
Yep.
And it's perfect, dude. Like, everybody knows about Bromart, so that's where I'm going to go. I know they got like a hot bar. I love a grocery hot bar.
Right.
If you do it right, it's one of the best, lunches you can get if the hot bar's right.
So, Dev, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I missed it, I feel like it has been a while since you've ventured maybe north of Baton Rouge for a Red Beans and Rice Day. I know you went up to Herbie K's in the Port City not that long ago. Do we have any plans to maybe go, let's say, north of Alexandria here coming up for a Red Beans and Rice Day? Yeah,
we do. And I really want to go back to Shreveport because, I know you remember, I enjoyed my time.
I know. And that was before 50 Cent took over the town.
I was just about to say that. Like, now 50 Cent, and what is going on? Like, I really genuinely want to know, like, what is 50 Cent doing out there? Because it's making a lot of news, man.
Dev, like, I don't know why he chose Shreveport, Louisiana. So whenever the movie business was booming here in Louisiana, like, it was New Orleans, it was Lafayette, it was Baton Rouge, it was Shreveport, okay? Well, Shreveport, like, went all in, and they built a ton of studios up there. Like, they took, like, old expo halls and made them studios, and so they put a lot of resources, and then when it dried up, obviously the studios dried up as well, and so 50 Cent, like, he's got his production company, the whole deal. I don't know why, again, he chose Shreveport, not somewhere else, but he went into Shreveport, saw the studios, said, okay, I want to buy those. And then he's like, I want to invest in the town and the downtown. And they've got all these plans. I don't know why, but I'm glad he's doing it. My hometown absolutely needed a little fire lit underneath it. But my man, he's like the mayor, basically.
Dude, seriously, like almost like he owns his own little town, because I remember being out there and there was a lot of buildings for sale. Like, literally, like, there was a lot. So if that's what he's doing, going in there, buying all them buildings and doing something with it, bro, I hope he brings Shreveport to the top, dude. I really do.
Man, that city, the town, it needs it. It absolutely needs it. So I am very thankful for 50 Cent going in there and doing what he's doing. Again, I don't know why, but, I mean, have you seen, renderings are renderings, and, like, unfortunately, we've all here in Louisiana seen some renderings that didn't turn out to be jack what, but they look great. Have you seen those? Like, what he plans to do in the city?
No, dude, I just know that, like, I keep getting told 50 Cent is in Shreveport and he's making moves. Like, that's what I know. I don't know what the moves are.
Hey, imagine 2002. I call you up, Dev, and I'm like, 50 Cent's making moves in Shreveport.
Dude. Because you already know, in 2002, 50 Cent was
peak.
He was him.
Yep.
He was him.
Yeah, shout out to 50 Cent. Okay, well, next time you go up there, just let me know, and maybe we'll get T-Bob involved if he ever gets back from Cabo. Maybe we all three can do it together. We bring the show on the road. We can actually do it from Shreveport. We got a studio there, the whole deal. Just let us know. We'll make it a team trip.
The Shreveport Hilton, nice hotel.
That's right. Downtown, right? Hey, the studio that 50 bought and it was built up is like steps from that.
Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. We're good. Look at us getting a team bonding trip together in the Port City.
Look at Shreveport, man. Let's go.
Dev, you're the man. We look forward to watching your video coming up here later this afternoon on Red Beans and Rice Monday. We also look forward to the next golf video. Next time, just always have the camera on because you don't know when the next birdie's coming.
I know, man. It kills me, man. I had a beautiful shot yesterday. But anyway, y'all take care, and I'll talk to y'all next week.
All right, there he is, our guy, Devin Snow. Hold the Mayo. Always got big things going on there. Some great stuff inside of the Bayou Ford chat. Ryan, I played in the NFL. I don't know if you know that. We don't ever talk about it. So, yeah, Ryan, we did. Also, what was the other one?
Who did you play for, though?
just a couple teams, not a big deal. Chargers, Broncos, Saints there at the end. Have we talked about that before?
I don't think we have.
We need to maybe.
No idea you were in the NFL.
We'll talk about it. What was my guy's name?
DA.
Dennis Allen. That's who it was.
I
never
Dennis
noticed.
Allen burner.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Because he would have DA as his burner. Also, Ryan, never noticed Jake had some honker eyebrows. Bruh, where you been?
Honker?
Bruh, look. It's like a Hester thing, too. Like, we can do, like, the rock eyebrow. If you're not watching, just listen. I apologize, but
Those,
people's eyebrows,
what's
what
her
you called it,
name?
right? But, yeah, like, all Hesters have these things, you know? So, yeah, it is what it is. Those are there. Big caterpillars. They've been there for a while, though. Don't know where you've been. All right, we will take a break, get to some of your comments. We've got Ask the Bench coming up as well. Get those questions in the Bayou for chat. We'll be back. OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. I always forget because we go so long with Dev. Are we in the 30? Are we in the 25? Doesn't really matter. allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com. That is the place to go if you're buying new, if you're leasing, or if you are renting a vehicle. So if you want to go out there and rent your Toyota for your vacation, and look, I know there's a lot of sharks down there in Florida. We played the video for you. Don't know what's going on with the sharks, but doesn't mean you're not going on vacation, right? So if you're going to Disney, if you're going to Yellowstone, can you drive to Cabo? You can drive to Cabo. I don't know. If you can, you should do it in a Toyota. Rent a Toyota today for that vacation. You've got the Sequoia, the 4Runner, the Highlander, multiple trucks, Sienna minivan, hybrid sedans, like whatever's available to buy new and lease is also available in the rental process. Call Miss Lisa Sessions today to get that reserved. allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. LSU landed anybody else in the baseball transfer portal, and as a national champion, been crowned. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Oh, welcome back in OTB. So many great things inside the Bayou 4 chat going on right now. Is there actually a difference in Shreveport and Bossier? I always love, and y'all know me, I'm the defender of the 318, so y'all know I got an answer for you. Is Port Allen and Baton Rouge the same thing? No, there's a bridge that you use from Baton Rouge to get to Port Allen, and Port Allen to Baton Rouge. Is Tiger Stadium in Port Allen? No, it's in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge?
It's in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. So suck it, Jeff G. Shreveport, Bossier, separated by the Red River. Okay, just like the Mississippi River separates Baton Rouge and Port Allen. Okay, so yeah, there is a difference there, sir.
Is there a difference in Shreveport and Texas?
Yes, there is. About 15 minutes. Now, I don't get the Southern Arkansas stuff. Like that one's never made sense to me, because actually Baton Rouge is 1 mile closer to Mississippi than Shreveport is to Arkansas. So are we West Mississippi? Got to ask yourself those questions.
It's a good question.
I would much rather, by the way, have East Texas than Southern Arkansas.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, I'm not T-Bob. I don't hate on Texas like he does.
Oh my gosh, he hates on it so hard.
So bad.
I think he low-key has like
He's from Georgia.
a like underlying hate for me.
There's not. No, it was way before you got here. Way
like,
before you got here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jake is from Shreveport. From Joey, my guy. Yes, just like Jake played in the NFL. He's got the caterpillar eyebrows. Yeah, my little brother. What did he text me during that segment? Yeah, we're descendants of Eugene Levy. Yeah, we're not quite that bad. What was the dad's name on the OC? He has got some caterpillars.
What was his name?
God, I cannot think about it. Like, that is true caterpillars. That is like, I have never groomed these things. I am going to stand out. And he does. Like, we know those two actors by their eyebrows.
Yeah, and also the girl that plays Emilia Clarke, I think is her name. She plays Daenerys Targaryen. Yeah. She's got some brows on her.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, that's kind of in vogue a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was
to
going to
have
say.
Thick eyebrows for women.
Yeah, like somebody in the chat was like, poor Harlow. I'm like, no, good for Harlow, because the thick eyebrows are in.
Yeah. I see. Ha, Nook. Joke's on you. I gave Harlow these eyebrows because Harlow is my twin.
She is.
Yeah, there's no denying that. There's no denying she is straight up my twin. Scott Dice, I'd like to party with you on Shreveport. Come on. I actually would love to do, because we've been on in Shreveport. Like when I started here on the station back in 2018, I would, from the old ESPN studio, do my Shreveport show. I don't remember what time that was. I think it was 3 to 5. I would do that from the old ESPN studio and then come up here and do 6 to 8 on this station. And then once I switched times, it's whatever time slot I was on would be syndicated in Shreveport. And now T-Bob and I, our first 2 hours are actually recorded and played back from 3 to 5 in the afternoon in Shreveport on 11:30 a.m. The Tiger. I would love to do like a on the road somewhere in Shreveport, do the show one day.
We should.
I would love that. Maybe do it like 2 or 3 days. I'm actually going to do an appearance at GeekCon, which is like a Comic-Con festival in Shreveport. They've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years now. It's actually turned into a kind of, they have, Star Wars and wrestlers and athletes and different people that show up to these deals. Maybe we can do it in August.
I was about to say, well, I wonder if you could do it like from GeekCon.
That's right. Well, the only way that we could get it done is obviously to have T-Bob there.
Yeah.
So if we
he would not
if we
sit through
entice
the
him
show.
though
Yeah.
with a Lake Bob, because Toledo Bend's right there. So we could do a Friday, Lake Bob on the weekend, Monday show, and then come back for Tuesday here.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
What would be the biggest hurdle in doing so?
Him being distracted by all the geeky stuff that's at GeekCon.
Oh, duh.
That's the biggest hurdle.
But that also would get him there.
Yeah, it would.
All right, if you're listening in Shreveport and you know the information about GeekCon and when it is,
let us know.
Because I'm supposed to be there. I know it's in August at some point. I'll look it up maybe. We need to do our Friday show from there. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I would probably be hosting solo because of all the things going on.
100%.
And also like there's a ton of vendors there that have like
I think I need to be like your on-site producer for this too.
Yeah. I mean, we'll let Tay come as well.
Yeah.
They have like swords and and
August
staffs.
16th.
Okay, August 16th.
Through the 18th.
All right. 16th of Friday. But all the things that T-Bob is interested in, like they sell right there. Like they sell them they have booths all set up. And again, like on the outside is where everybody that's coming to it. Okay, we'll do the Friday show from there. I'll see if I can get it set up. Maybe we can get a list of who's going to be there as well to start getting our selling points in for T-Bob. Also inside the Bite for chat, Jake is a big hat guy. I am. I haven't always been. Like if you go back and you watch the show when I was like hanging with Hester or hanging with Hester and Handy, like I was, I'd fix the hair, but that was pre-morning show. I'm not really interested in fixing the hair like at 6 a.m. Right. So then I turned into a hat every day, and then it kind of came like the vibe. And someone was asking about the hats. I only wear melon hats typically, and I probably have like 15, I would say, maybe melon hats. And so for Harlow's birthday, the theme was kind of beachy as Wonder the Sea, like the Oneaters, that thing you do. And so like I got a hot pink one to go with all the pink stuff. And so I have a hat for every occasion, and it's going to be melon. They don't have a purple one though. I need a purple one to go for the LSU stuff. They don't have a purple one yet. So if they come out with a purple one, I'm for sure going to make sure I jump on that. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break actually on time so we can have an actual last segment of the hour. We'll finish up today's show, Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Cruise Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Sweet, right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to communitysteelco.com, communitysteelco.com. And once you get to the website, go to the top right corner. I tell you every single day, click on Community Steel because it's going to pull up exactly where they're located in Gonzales, Louisiana, and they've been there for almost 3 hours already. They are ready, waiting on you to come walk through the showroom, see it, touch it, have a conversation with them about what you need and what, they can do for you, which is everything. And we just encourage you to go see them. They're great people, great team, right? Great environment as well. But we realize, again, just in the last segment, we play throughout the state of Louisiana. So maybe you can't get to Gonzales, Louisiana today. That's okay as well. Because you call their team and you tell them what you're looking for and they get it done. You pick up the phone, call 225-647-2020. Tell them what you're looking for. Tell them you heard it on OTB. Also go to communitysteelco.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is. The X supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. After a busy recruiting weekend, we'll recap LSU Friday Night Lights and a baseball portal update. Join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I remember when I lost my mind.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. OTB, At the Bench, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Busy Arts Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Wheat. As I'm looking up the lineup for GeekCon, it's got, some good actors. Billy Zane from Titanic and a bunch of other stuff's going to be there. The doctor from Scrubs, Perry Cox, I think was his role in Scrubs. He's going to be there. John McGinley, I believe is his name. He's going to be there. The kid who played in E.T. is going to be there. So I was looking up the lineup.
The E.T. kid.
I was looking up the lineup of some people that were going to be there. And it's people that you recognize. Maybe you don't know them by their name, but you know them. But in the most 318 ever thing, GeekCon, brought to you by Johnny's Pizza.
Is that the nacho cheese pizza?
Yeah, it's the most 318 cuisine you could possibly have. Everybody from the 318 is going to tell you about Johnny's Pizza. Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite is going to be there.
Shut up.
So we could get Taylor to wear his Napoleon costume.
Wait, okay. Now this has to happen.
Yep. Oh, Kerr Smith from Dawson's Creek. OG Hanging with Hester fans will know that we have an appreciation for Dawson's Creek.
Love Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. We talked about it on Flestering pretty often. So he's going to be there as well. So maybe we can add, I'll already be there, but maybe we can add T-Bob Abear to the lineup as well.
Yeah. Wait, I forgot I had this.
Vote for Pedro. Vote for Pedro.
All right. So maybe we'll come to you live from Shreveport in the middle of August. All right. Ask the Bench. Universal or Disney?
Easy answer, Universal.
Yeah, Universal when it comes to Disney World for sure. I like Disneyland the best, but if I'm going to Orlando, Universal. Yeah. Cassie, you have a preference?
I've only been to Disney, so I have to say Disney.
She said Universal as well. You just couldn't hear her.
Yeah. She said I agree with both of you. Universal's superior.
I love Universal.
It's so good.
Ask the bench, how does T-Bob miss every returning flight but never a departing flight? That is so good.
That is very valid.
Like, here's the deal, too. If you're enjoying your vacation and if you called us like, hey, I ain't going to be there. Like, find somebody on Tuesday as far as a guest list because whatever. But when we inevitably get that text tonight at 5:30, dude, I don't know how it happened again.
If we even get one, like again,
we will.
No, we haven't heard from him, so we don't know if he even still has his phone. He loses it all. Like, yes, he tweeted yesterday, but we haven't seen him on Twitter since.
Yeah, he doesn't have his phone.
Yeah.
Ask the bench. This can only come from my oldest son. What's Jacob's opinion on Easton Stick's legacy heading into the 2024 season? Jackson, nobody knows who Easton Stick is but you and I. We're the only two people that know who that human being is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I hope he never plays because that means Justin Herbert stayed healthy all season long.
Shout out Jackson.
Ask the bench, who in the studio would last the longest in Survivor?
I think it would come down to me or you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like 100%.
Would Taylor or T-Bob be the first out? Because I feel like Taylor, being from Livingston, would actually have some Survivor skills,
yeah, maybe? And T-Bob's so...
T-Bob be like, you got me. I'm done. Yeah, T-Bob's the answer. All right, we will see you tomorrow. OTB, same time, same place.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to GoTommies.com, G-E-A-U-X, Tommies.com. And when you get to the website, it says it right there on the front page. You will clearly see the difference, and you will. And I always encourage you to go to the website because, well, you can see that they've won the Angie's List Super Service Award literally every year since 2016, and it's right there. And you can also see why they've won the Super Service Award every year since 2016 on the site. You're going to have, of course, like testimonials of past clients and how happy they've been with Tommy and the team. And like, you'll see why as soon as Tommy gets to your house, why people choose Tommy, because, well, you know, the work's going to be great. He's over 20 plus years of experience, but just, man, his personality, work ethic, and just meeting him in person is going to go such a long way. But check out the gallery of work they can do for you. And that's also on the website. As custom can be, whatever you need, they've got you covered. GoTommies.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best kept secret in town is